Hello. Welcome back. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yep. Loud and clear.
Oh, sorry, I'm in the classroom here again, and it is so cold. It's weird because it's so warm outside, but I am been teaching here all day, and the air conditioning, you just cannot control it. I've tried it a few times. So look at me, bundled up as if it were winter. But now I turned it off completely, and soon I'll be like, oh, it's so hot because it goes from one way to the other. It doesn't seem to have an in between. But anyway, I was just noticing, looking at me, it looks like I'm in like Minnesota or
All bundled up.
something. What's up?
All bundled up.
Yep. All right, I can't hear you well anymore. This is as loud as I can make it go. So something about your sound. Let me try. I made it a little bit louder.
How about now?
Your
That's better.
sound is very low.
My sound is low.
Hmm.
That is on your side because my sound is basically, I can move this
Put
a
them
little
this
bit
in.
closer to me. A bit closer. Can you hear me better now? It's, you know what? I did have this covering because I was cold. So and then when I get hot and take this off, I'll have to remember to move that back out. Can you hear me better now? No difference? Then it's on your end. Can you make this sound louder? Can you, is it low for you too, Howard?
I can hear you pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Any better now, Peggy? No. Even if you move your volume up, I'm pretty much maxed out. I can't change. Yeah, I've added, let me, there's, well, hold on, there's one more button that I could try that it hasn't changed, but just in case. Nope, I'm at maxed out volume on my microphone as well. I'll try to speak louder, but it just won't last the entire time. So if you can't hear me, remind me, Peggy, just send me, can you speak louder? It just, if you remind me, I'll keep remembering. Otherwise I'll probably won't. Let me see if I can put this right under. About there. Can you hear me better now? All right, let's try that. It just is so close. It's weird. But thing is, when I take this off, I can't put it so close. But anyway, the day that they were checking sound here, I had a turtleneck and it was clipped to my turtleneck, and I have to tell them that they need to make it more sensitive because when I have a shirt that's not a turtleneck, I can't put it close enough. Anyway, where's everyone else? Come
I
on
don't
in,
know. Maybe they're
people.
watching the World Series.
Is it today?
Yeah, I think it just started.
Oh, man. I was joking today that I know nothing about cars and I know nothing about, sports. And so that's not a good combination when you're trying to do small talk or when you're trying to wait for people to come to class. That's not good. Well, let's chit chat for a couple minutes because I really do want to wait a few minutes at least, even though I normally try to start on time. Anything, Howard, that you want to ask or tell me or something since you're new to me and things?
Not much.
Tell me more about your photos
I
or,
went through the resolution
oh, cool.
document, and that was helpful. Right? It's like this image is not that big. Well, what are you using it for?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I always knew like the 72 and the 300, but this upscaling, downscaling
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
was kind of new information to me. So that was
That's great.
pretty cool.
And it's great information, which has been the rule. Ah, here comes, oh, but this person hasn't been in my class before, so hope she watched something. Let me see till she comes in, and I'm going to talk a bit about that, what you just said, but let me say hi to Patty. Hi, Patty. Can you hear me?
Hello, hi, yes.
Whoa, I
I'm
can.
happy to be a part of this class.
Oh, I'm so glad to know that that you've joined us actually. Um,
Yes.
this class started last week. Sorry, this week, but last Monday. Sometime whenever I see, just so you know, you're not new to me, you guys. When I say last week or next week, I always mean last class or next class, because sometimes I teach once a week, sometimes I teach twice a week. So if I ever say last week, you just translate it into your brain as last time we met. Same with next week. Anyway, so last class was our first class, and I got some of the basics of people's experience, or where they're at. So let me just check in with you for a minute, Patty. First of all, do you have the applications, Bridge, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign? You
Yeah,
have them?
so I don't have them, but I did read the information on how to do the
VDI?
virtual thing. So, and I've
Okay.
done that on my end, yes.
You're connected right now, so you're in to VDI?
Oh, I haven't connected, no, but I've
But
connected
you've set it up
before.
already.
Yeah,
Okay, go
I've
ahead
already done
and
the whole thing.
go ahead then as we're talking and reconnect, so that once
Okay.
you're done talking, we can just open up and begin with one of those. Have you had a chance? I'm assuming probably not. Did you watch the recording of Monday's class?
No,
With the class
unfortunately not.
files and things like that?
No.
Okay, so
Mm-mm.
we need to download the class. No, you're gonna be on VDI. You do not need to download the class files. Once you're in VDI and you have the connection set up, then open Bridge, and then I'll help you get the class files. So for now, focus on that. One last thing, do you have any experience in any of these programs at all?
Yes, I have a little bit of experience, but it's been such a long time that it's
Okay,
yeah, I'm
and
taking this class as a refresher,
got
basically.
it. And in which in particular, in Photoshop or in Illustrator or in Design, or neither or all?
I think a little bit in Photoshop, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's been such a while that
Yeah,
at this point I'm
yeah.
gonna say I don't have much knowledge.
Okay, no, that's fine. But it's not the same if there's zero knowledge as if there's some idea and you have to recover it all. It isn't when I from where I teach, it just gives me a bit more information. Okay.
Mhm.
And then last thing before I let you connect, do you have any particular ongoing project that you're trying to work on or complete, or you're just trying to learn?
I'm just really trying to learn.
Okay.
Well, more so I'm really interested in just like um what are good like style choices and stuff, like what makes a good poster and stuff like that. Just because for
Okay.
me, I'm not really I don't have that knowledge and
Okay.
um
Well, that's interesting.
it's be nice to have, yeah.
Cool. We're going to be talking about that somewhat. Of course, what works and doesn't work, but this isn't necessarily a class about graphic design, and I need to distinguish that. Where I am a graphic designer, photographer, I
Mhm.
will talk about it just because by default, but it's mostly about the technical setup of how you create a document, what goes into it, what are the files you need, how do you operate with all the applications, as opposed to a good design per se, which I will
Okay.
pop in and say, sometimes, and mainly it happens that when people turn in their homework and they're making a poster, I might say, well, if you balance it here, if you put that there, that kind of thing. But it's mostly about the technical aspect. But I'm going to stop talking to you to
Mhm.
let you focus on connecting to VDI, because that's what we need next. And once you're connected, let me know. Okay.
Yes, I am halfway there. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that said, I don't know where everyone else is. So I was answering one of Howard's questions about something that we talked about last week. So I'll let you focus, and I'm going to talk back to Howard while we're waiting for people to show up. I hate doing that because then people think it's okay to show up late. But on the other hand, I really want people to be here before I start. So since Howard, you asked that, he was coming in about a homework article that you had to read, which I'll show you in a little bit. So, so everything that article says, all the resolution, it's still key. It's still the golden rule, but something that didn't exist as of a few months ago, or not even yet, it's still in the Photoshop beta. So it's still not even in the actual Photoshop that we're using, but in the beta version, which is the version that is being
Tested.
tested until we finally get incorporated into the real version. There's a generative upscale where we can use AI tools to upscale, and it is pretty powerful, and it does let you to upscale. So suddenly the rule of, well, it was too small, it was too small, suddenly it's a bit out the window as long as you use that tool. But this is such a new tool. the Adobe Max, the big Adobe conference is happening right now. I've been doing every minute I've had free, but the problem is I've been teaching for the last 2 days, but it started yesterday, goes on until tomorrow. But I've been able to watch the big keynotes at least, and they're showing some things, and the entire keynote address, which is like 3 hours long, is all about all of the new tools. It's all AI. There's a couple of Adobe Illustrator new things that aren't AI, but everything else is just, it's all AI, artificial intelligence everywhere, in and out, and amazing things that are awesome and scary, and we need this, and wow, this is incredible, so all these different feelings, but it's all AI. And one of the ones that is probably a very welcome tool is that one, the generative scale, where you can upscale to make a photo that wouldn't have been at all usable in the past, could now be used. So I'm not going to say take that information lightly. It's still the golden rule, but there is a plan B, or will be once we're out of beta, that might let you circumvent a bit the golden rule of, if you don't have enough pixels for that, you don't have enough pixels, was what we answered before. So anyway, hi Paula, hi Eric. Thanks for
Hi.
joining us. Okay, so quick question for Paula and Eric. Did
Yes,
you guys get a chance to read that handout? And maybe you had already read it for another class.
I
the
read it for
resolution-
another class and I didn't review, but I
Okay,
did
no,
read
that's fine.
before.
Okay, that's good. Eric, had you had a chance to read it during the for the Photoshop class?
Yeah, I read it
You
over
had.
in the Photoshop class.
Okay, great. All right, just wanted to know. So Patty is joining us today, so she of course hasn't read it, but we're going to be referencing things from that a little bit more. And now I'm going to let me see. Eric, you're on VDI. Are you all up and running and inside and set up?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Google Drive window to pop
Okay.
up.
All right, so you're fine, you're there.
Mhm.
Patty is just now connecting to VDI, so I'm gonna be having to support her to get through to the files from there. So while that's happening, because she's not there yet, but once she's in there and she lets me know she's in there, I'm gonna have her share her screen and we're gonna run through the steps of getting her the files. Then the rest of you guys consider, since we did go a teensy bit into Illustrator, a teensy bit into Photoshop, barely, but we did, and a teensy bit into InDesign. Go into one of those three. I don't care which at this point. Maybe the one that you know the least about. I don't know which one would work. And then maybe try to explore one of the tools. So like in Illustrator, we made a start. We'll go and see, make a different shape. Like if you've never used Illustrator before, make a circle or make something else. Or if Photoshop's what's new for you, or if InDesign what's new for you, maybe try to place another image. Remember we placed that postcard, whatever, the autumn field. Go ahead and place another one. Just play around with some things while I'm catching Patty up, okay? And then Patty, how are we doing? Where are you?
Yes, I've loaded in, I've logged into Google Drive, and I've gotten a couple of things open, like Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and another thing that you need to know is how to share your
Mhm.
screen. So
Yes.
since I want you to share your screen to help you catch up with the class files, can you go ahead and do you know how to
Mhm.
share it? Have you shared it before? Do I need
Yes.
to walk you through it? You did. Okay, so
I can go ahead and share
share your
it
screen.
right now. Okay.
And by the way, the rest of you, other than Patty, I want you to report back on if it worked, if it didn't work, what you tried to do, like what it is that you're up to. Give me I did this and it worked, or I did this and it didn't work. Anyway, so here we are. Cool. So for this one, just go ahead and say next,
Mhm.
and then
I
say
should
next
assume that.
again.
Uh,
And now you can go ahead and click on all of these three and then say next. Got it. Those two, and then say no. This one you don't need. Just skip
yeah.
and then say open drive.
And this Open Drive,
Oh,
okay.
so we'll say okay. Now, close this one. We don't need this one. And then another one of those will come in, say no to that one. Okay, great. And now, you can minimize this one. Okay, cool. Now let's open Bridge. Go ahead and search for Bridge.
Okay.
There we go. Open Bridge. Now I notice that you have Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator open down here.
Yes.
If we run into trouble, like it's beginning to be slow or something, you might want to have one at a time open. We'll see. But for now, as long as it's
Okay.
all working fine, that's good. Have you, are you normally, yes, you are. I see you're a PC user. I'm looking at your shared screen. Okay, so close that one. Have you ever used Bridge before? It's probably a no, but
I don't think I have. I think this is a tool that I've
Okay.
actually,
probably
but
not. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
Don't worry. Go ahead and grab this thing that says downloads and just drag it in here into the black
Oh.
area.
Okay.
Although, you know what, you're on video, you don't need it, but just in case. Okay, put it there. Yeah, okay. Now go into this PC.
This PC.
Okay, go into Google Drive, double click.
Drive.
Now go to shared drives, double click. Design techniques, double click. And now we're going to wait for a minute, and then a folder is going to appear over here. But first, you're going to have some other files show up. And when the folder shows up, you're going to right click and copy it.
Okay.
But this part takes a little bit of time. You see how it's kind of working down there. Just a little bit longer. Now, a little bit longer there. Okay, so not the catch up one. I made a mistake. The second one. Right click and copy.
Oh, copy. I
So,
see.
yeah, right click and copy versus go in. Yeah.
Okay, I copied it.
Now we're going to go back to Google Drive and we're going to go into your own drive, my drive.
I
So
see.
my
My
drive,
own one.
And now right click and paste.
Okay.
And once it finishes copying, and it'll be done pretty soon. Almost there. Okay, guys. Meanwhile, guys, I put the Padlet link on the chat. Those of you who know what Padlet is already, go ahead and click on that link to go to the Padlet. And if you want to do any screenshots of whatever you're attempting right now, but you don't have to, just saying. I'm just putting it there while we wait for the fast copy.
Okay.
There they are. All right. Now, don't double click on the file, but it's here. It's this one. Just drag it here to the side.
Okay.
And there we go. Cook. Great. So now you don't have to do any of that anymore in the future. Every time you open Bridge, just click on this. Go ahead and click on it now, and you're in your class files. Okay. So that's like a little shortcut to it, and these are the class files. So
oh,
you're
that's
good.
perfect.
Now we do have a file that we semi-created the other day. So I didn't put it in the catch up. So give me a second, because we're gonna use it a little bit, and then that was something I could have thought of doing, but I didn't while you were doing that. So if you go back, do you know how to go back to the shared drives for a second?
Yes, I can do
Bridge?
that.
Okay, go back to that while I put this file in there for you. A second, so it was this one. And so I'm copying 3 files in there. They're already there. I don't know if they're there for you already, but go ahead and go to the, okay, there's one more that should be popping in still. because it's 3. Go ahead and refresh by going back out and then, yeah, and then back into the catch up.
Okay.
There they are. Okay. So take these 3 files and copy
Mhm.
them.
Copy them. Okay.
Well, actually, you know what? You can just drag them straight in here because that'll copy them into your,
Oh, perfect. To my downloads
not
folder.
into the
Okay.
file, into the
Oh.
folder file,
The other one. Okay.
into that one. And an item is already there. So yeah.
Please. Uh-oh.
Try again.
Yes. May not
Well,
have been possible.
then just copy paste because I don't know what the error might be.
Yeah.
So just do a right click copy on those 3. Oh, no, go back to the shared drive and copy them. Select all 3 again and just do a right click copy
Copy.
and then go over here to yeah. And then do a paste, right click paste, and hopefully all 3.
Okay.
Perfect. You're ready to go. And now
Mhm.
I'm just going to stop your share and cool. All right. The next thing is, if you can go to the chat, you'll see that I posted a link. I'll post it again. Go ahead and click on that link. And guys, we're all together again. So let's get going. I'm gonna share Bridge with you guys. Not Bridge, sorry. I did share Bridge, but it wasn't that I wanted to share Bridge. I actually wanted to share Padlet Bridge. All right, so this is the place where that link should have taken you, which is our class Padlet, okay? And we posted some samples of what we did last week. And in this Padlet is where these are the files that I just gave you, Patty, and that you guys hopefully have. Let me see, Odessa is not here, and Moni is not here. Is that it? What else? There's someone else who wasn't here who didn't post. Well, Herschel, oh, Gretchen. Okay. All right. Cool. So Peggy played with some shapes in Illustrator and you just put that in there. So that's great. Thank you. So we're not gonna, oh, here comes Moni. We're not gonna do anything right now here because today I hadn't assigned you any homework other than to read the handout. But Patty, this is the handout that I was talking about, the one that's in this, it says read this article. So you can either click on this and read it online, or you can download it and print it, whatever way you prefer. But this is an article that I'd like you to read by next Monday, okay? And it's about resolution, pixels, image size, stuff like that. It's a lot of good stuff to have under your belt, just so that when we talk about it, you have some information already. That said, today I'm going to spend more time talking about it. So if it's confusing or not, definitely ask me questions because this isn't about learning from the handout. It's about having more information. But if what I say today is a little bit questionable, you will get more information once you read that to solidify whatever we talk about today, okay? All right, hi Moni.
Hello.
All right, so I was just catching Patty up, who just joined us today with VDI and everything. So in fact, you missed nothing because I just finished catching her up and there's only one thing I haven't told her yet, which is, so Patty, whenever we're working together and I want to keep everyone on track, what I'm gonna have them do is use the reaction buttons. So if I say, okay, do A, B, or C, and then after you're done, give me a yes if it worked, or give me a no if it didn't work and you need help. So I'm referring to there we go, yes or no, exactly. And then if you have a question, you would raise your hand. You seem to know where all those tools are, so life is good. Okay, good. Let's continue. Oh, but what's important is that you don't ever not ask a question. So if you're lost in what I'm doing, the commitment is you will ask when you have a question instead of waiting 10 minutes later and then it's like you're 10 minutes old and having to catch up, versus when something's not working and I say, is it working? You immediately say no or yes, and off we move forward. All right. And you're really experienced on your computer. I can see you're really comfy. You shared really easy. So yes, when I say just share your screen, it's easier for me to see and then move on. Just share your screen. And we show and we move on. Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're in Bridge in our class files. And last class, we created, oh, and by the way, Bridge, I don't know which way you're looking at your files right now. Normally by default, it's by file name. So you're seeing things probably the way I'm showing it right now. The way I was just showing it is by type. So I had my folders up on top, and then we had a couple of different types of photos, which then brings us our INDD, which is a little document that we laid out at the very end of last class, but it is an InDesign.indd InDesign document, okay? And then right next to it, we have our first Illustrator, which we just made a little splotch. Some people made something prettier than me. And then the other thing was the first, there was two firsts in there. What was the other thing that we had made? Oh, well, first layout and first Illustrator. They were both called first. And then the photo we brought in there was this from Autumn Field. So those are the three files I just gave you. All right, so let's double click on this one. And since it is an InDesign document, it is going to kick InDesign to open up. Patty, I noticed that both Illustrator and Photoshop were already open in your computer. So if for any reason it begins to slow down, InDesign does take up an inordinate amount of computer space, you might want to quit your Photoshop and your Illustrator for the time being. We will be using them, but I'm just saying, it depends. Maybe it's working fine and there's no issue. But for now, I want to start with InDesign. Now, you might be asked, Patty might get a message about linked files, embedded stuff like that. So if you do, can you read it out to me and I'll tell you what to press?
Yes, give me 1 minute for it to load. Yeah, it's
So,
taking a little bit.
guys, I'm going to explain what's happening. And this is part of what we're going to learn today. I just gave her a document. Okay. I just gave her to copy from here, from the class handouts, from the catch-up folder. I gave her 3 documents. Pay attention. This is for everyone. This isn't about Patty. This is part of today's class. I just gave her 3 documents. One, I actually probably didn't need to give you this one because we already had that one. And that's why I said, do you want to replace you? That one we hadn't touched. I gave her a new Illustrator. That's just that little star splotch that I have. And then the layout. InDesign is the layout file where we placed these 2 images into it, remember? But notice that when she had to start the file, I just didn't give her the InDesign document. I had to give her all 3 because those files do not reside inside of the document, even though it looks like it does. So here's my document, here's my Autumn Fields, here's my first Illustrator design, that little splotch, and here's some text. That's all we did to it. But these files that look as if they're in here, because I'm seeing them, are only linked. And that's a big part of today's class, understanding the difference between linked and embedded. So the file itself, if I were to really pay attention to this file, hold on, I didn't mean to switch. Really, this is all that's in my InDesign document. Just the word autumn. It was truly created inside of InDesign. But and I'm going to undo that again, but the splotch or star that some of you guys made, plus the Autumn Fields don't really exist inside of this document. They are just linked to the actual document. So when I gave her this file, had I given her only this file, she would have had a little preview in there that would look very similar to what we're seeing, but the document would have said, where are the files that I'm supposed to be linking to? It wouldn't find them. So you wouldn't be able to like print or do anything with them because it would just be looking for links that are not there. By giving them to her, which I did, and she uploaded them, the computer is still confused. And let me see you why. The files are there, so she can link to them, but the computer is confused. And watch. I'm going to go ahead and everyone go up to Window and open a folder called Links. A palette called Links. So go up to Window and Links. And it's going to open right here to the side of our palette. Give me a yes once you got this open and you're seeing it. And Patty, you might or not see them. Let's see. You might see them differently. Okay, so if you find the links panel and it's open, give me a yes. I love your good spirits always, Moni. Happy Digital Design Day to you too. And by the way, I know everyone outside is boiling, and people were loud when I first came in. I was explaining that I'm in the North Pole here because I'm in the computer lab and it is so cold. I have managed to turn the heater, the air conditioning off, but it is still freezing in here. At some point, I'm going to start boiling because since I turned it off, it's going to go one way or the other. Okay, Paula, did you open up your links tile? Which, by the way, this is the thing. At some point, if you do answer yes, life is good. But if you don't answer, I'm going to assume that you're in trouble and it's equivalent to a no. And
I'm
if you
kind
just,
of in trouble. That's why I didn't
yeah,
answer.
which is
And-
why I always say, okay, if it's a no, or if there's no answer, I'm going to check in on you. So Paula, what's up?
No, nothing. It's just because I continued playing around
Oh,
on
okay.
Photoshop and I
Oh,
created more things. And
okay.
then now when I enter again in InDesign, it's like it's all the stars that before I had like just one, and now it's all
Ah,
together.
okay.
But
Well,
it's not a problem. It's
no,
just
it's
like,
not a problem. And we'll get it. We'll actually talk about that. In fact, this is kind of interesting, but the main thing is, are you seeing your links window? Just go to window and
I
see your,
am, I
okay,
am.
good. All right. So we'll talk a bit about that. But in fact, here's the point I'm trying to make. Just watch. This is demo. If I hover over my two linked files, okay, the autumn fields and my little Illustrator splotch, when I hover over Illustrator, look at what it says. That little tip tool says this file lives in DE Musacchio Downloads, Fall Design and Infrastructure Design. Basically, it's looking for that file in that exact folder. Same with that one. It's looking for in that exact folder. So Patty just opened it in her computer, and the file she opened is the one I made. So in her case, when she hovers over this is probably having like a question mark or a exclamation point or something like that, right, Patty? Because it's not findable for her. Now I'm going to have us all do the same thing that Patty is having. So watch, all of us. Let's go to Bridge. And we're going to change the name of our first Illustrator design. Okay. Now, Patty, you don't have to because you already have the question mark, but you can go ahead and change it also. Let's go right click or double or click 2 times. No, it's not a double click. It's a single click and another click on the name. And let's call this one First Illustrator Design / I'm going to call it Splotch. You guys made a star, whatever you want to call it after that. We're just changing the name. And then we're clicking return or okay. And we basically changed the name of the star. All right. Give me a yes when you've all changed the name of that file in Bridge. And if you're having any issues or you can't do it or you can't figure out where to do it or something, remember, give me a note or just, there's so few of us, you can just speak up and ask for help.
Um, I'm sorry. Would you like me to call you by Professor or Diana, or I should ask that in the beginning?
That's okay to say it's Diana actually
Diana.
from
Okay.
Argentina. So Diana, but yeah, it's
Diana.
fine. Just say Diana.
Okay. I'm actually a little confused to
Mhm.
see if I did it correctly. Is it okay to share my screen to see if it's
Of
correct?
course. Go ahead and share your screen. That's always
Okay.
good. I'm so glad someone who actually offers to share her screen. Yay.
Okay, so I did the renaming and then this is the question mark. Is this what you were referring to?
Yeah. So right now,
Mhm.
okay, everyone, if you go back to your computer, your InDesign, you should be having at the very least a question mark. Does that make sense? Now, if right now because what's happening, your computer is just not finding the file. It's like, okay, I'll show you what I think you're trying to ask me to show you, but that's not there anymore. What do you mean it's not there? It's right there. Yep, but it's not the file that I opened. And let me, so it's perfect. Let me actually stop your share and I'll share my again. Because I went ahead and I closed my InDesign file, which is, you don't have to, but I actually closed mine and tried to open it again. Hold on. And I'm getting this one. So you guys, all you got was the question mark because it was already there and it just suddenly goes, whoops, where is it? I don't see it. But in my case, I actually closed it. And when I try to open it, I get this document contains a link to a source that is missing. You can either find or relink the missing link using the links panel. And if I say, okay, then I'm going to go into the InDesign with the question mark that you all should have, that Patty showed and that you guys should have right now. But notice that when I opened the file, it was warning me. So it's still showing me the preview of what it didn't stop from showing me the preview, but it's like, where is this thing? Because when I hover over it, it tells me it should be there, and it should be called First Illustrator Design. And we changed it to design/something. So you can either have a question mark or you could have a warning, which is like this little triangle. You'll see a warning in a minute. We're gonna see a warning. But for now, it's basically going, can't find it. So look how it says. If I hover over the question mark, my mouse is kind of covering it, but it says missing. Double click to relink. All right, so let me just show you before I do that. There's one more place where I can see that. Say that there's two more places where I can see something's wrong. So this was the links panel, but we can open it and close it from this little link icon. I also see that right above the splotch, there's a little question mark right there. You see that? And in this case, it's just single clicking that would work. Or down here, I haven't pointed it to you yet, but you would have had a green before with no errors, and now you have a 0, 1 error. So there's 3 places that are going like, uh-oh, something's wrong. So if you miss one, you might see the other one. If you miss the third one, you might. And when I opened the file, it warned me, but you guys already had it open. You might just keep designing and not notice. So either from and by the way, in case I didn't see that one, and in case I didn't think it was a relink, if I were to go here to the one error and click on that little arrow that's right next to it, I would have to open the pre-flight panel. So everyone, let's go to the pre-flight panel because I'm going to show you the different options. And it's telling me you have an error. One link is a problem. So I'll go which link and I open it up and it's telling me there's a missing link and I open the missing link and this is the missing link. So it's telling me what's missing. Does that make sense? So there's like so many different ways because sometimes you have a 20-page document and you see 3 errors and you're like, where are my errors? I have no idea. You know, it's like, this is pretty obvious. We're seeing that there. I'm showing you there. Sometimes you have no idea where the error might be. So that's kind of like a little detective of telling you, well, your error is, and so you go to pre-flight panel, you have a font error, you have a something error. There's different errors we can have. If you follow through, it tells you not only what the error is, but it also tells you on what page it is. Now, this is a 1-page document. It says 1, but if this were a 25-page document, it would go page 18, you have a mistake. You'd click on that thing and it would take you to page 18 and show you the error. Now I'm clicking on that little guy and see how it honed in on the error, it put it in the middle, okay? So the pre-flight panel is like the detective work of where my mistakes might be. Let's close the pre-flight panel because we know what the mistake is right now, but I'm just showing you how we would use it. And now I'm moving this around. So now let's do it. Either a click over there or a double click over here. It's all the same. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. I'm going to double click it over here. And it's going to go, well, where is it? Tap, tap, tap. It doesn't know. So I'm going to head over to my folder where I find it and I'll go, oh, it's just that I changed the name. So I have to reselect the right file. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to say open and the file's like, oh, thank you. Whew, I'm so happy now. Now it just shows me a link and it doesn't show me a mistake. And now the errors down here are green, no errors. All good? If it's all good, give me a yes. I didn't clean your answers though. Let me clear your answers. If you already answered, answer it again. I'm sorry. If all is good and you got to clean your error, then give me a yes.
I have a quick question, Deanna.
Yeah.
When you moved your picture, when you were able to move, I can't, I don't know how to do that. Could you teach
Move
me
my
how to do that?
picture. Oh, that I
Yeah,
moved
just
it
like
away.
move around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so right now I'm just using my mouse, but for the most part, the best way, and that's because I have a magic mouse, which is weird. Hold down the space bar,
Hold down space bar. Okay.
and your mouse will turn into this
Oh,
hand, and then you can click and drag to
okay,
drag
thank
yourself
you.
around. Okay, so hold down the
Mhm.
space bar to drag yourself around.
Okay,
And
thank you very much.
right, you're welcome. All right, so everyone should have happy links, happy errors, happy everything. And now now we truly understand what we mean by that it's linked. It truly isn't here. It's just showing you a little preview of that file that's out there in on its own. Does that make sense? Now, let's let this be here and let's go back to Bridge. No, let's not go to Bridge. Let's do it from here. Let's do it from here. We can do it from Bridge, but let's do it from here. Let's say that I look at this photograph and we're still having to learn so much about InDesign, guys. I'm not yet like, if you don't yet understand everything about InDesign, don't worry. And Paula keeps popping in and out. She must have having issues. She's popped in 3 times. Hopefully her Zoom can stabilize, but okay. So here's the thing. I would like this photo of Autumn Fields to not be so autumny. I want it to be more yellowy. Say for some reason that I want to change it, or I want to give it a different sky, or I want to enhance the colors, or I want to put a bus and I want to eliminate that little car, whatever things that I want to do in Photoshop, because I would rather it not have a car. Let's say that. Let's say I don't want a car in there, although it's pretty cute, but let's say I don't want a car. Okay, so I can't do that in InDesign. And this photo isn't in InDesign, we already noticed. It's just sitting there in my computer and it's a Photoshop. So I need to go and edit it inside of Photoshop, right? Now, it's possible that I don't know where it is in my computer because maybe I sourced myself from 3 different places, or maybe someone else is working on the photo and they received this and they don't remember, they don't know where that photo is. So one thing I can do is I can go over to this photo, which is this one. And I can say, I want to go and edit this photo, but I don't know where it is or where to find it, which right now we know is not true, but say we do not know. And what I can do is over here, there's a little pencil. And when I hover over the pencil, it says edit original. Or I can right click and say edit original. But in case I want to edit with a particular program, say it's a program that could be edited with different programs, I can also say edit with, and I can choose which one to edit it with. Now, by default, if you say edit original, this one will open in Photoshop, but sometimes, depending on how your computer is set up, it might open like in preview or something else like that. So just to avoid problems, let's just say edit with Adobe Photoshop. And I did that by doing a right click. And when I do that, my Photoshop is going to open, and I'm going to reshare my screen to include my Photoshop, which it isn't yet sharing, but your guys' should have your Photoshop should have popped in. And it has opened this document in Photoshop. Once your document has been opened in Photoshop from InDesign, okay, so InDesign is the source. Now we're going to give me a yes or yeah, Patty.
Hi, yeah. When I do that right click thing and I go to edit with, I only get an option that says other. I'm happy to
Well,
share my screen to see.
no, that's fine. If it just says other, give it a try. Just saying edit, like go to the pencil and just say edit original. Let's see where it
Okay.
opens up. It should open up in Photoshop, but try that. Tell me if it does. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to open it from Bridge. But VDI sometimes.
No, it only opens up with like the photo app and
Yeah,
that,
that's
yeah.
VDI, but does and Eric, you're on VDI too. Is it doing that to you too?
Yeah, I just tried it right now and
All
it
right.
opened up
So then
the.
for now, because it's a VDI thing that doesn't know the linking, just go to Bridge and open it, double click on it and open it in Bridge and it'll open in Photoshop. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So go to Bridge. and find the file, Autumn Fields, and it's the right one. So just double click on it and open it, and it'll open up in Photoshop. Okay. Paula, I noticed that you're popping in and out. The connection's not good, but are you still with us? Do you know what
I
we're doing?
am, but my connection is really,
Yeah.
really bad. But I'm
That's fine.
yeah, but I'm catching up.
You're there. So we just opened from InDesign.
Yes,
did a right
I'm
click
playing around with
and
my
edit with
thing
Photoshop.
after clicking on edit.
Okay.
So I'm changing in Illustrator my image, and then it's gonna reflect in InDesign, right?
Yeah, but right now
Okay.
we're doing it in Photoshop, but yes, it will. So now in Photoshop, let me clear your answers for the rest. Okay, so Patty and Eric, you both have Photoshop open now? Yep.
I'm actually still struggling a little bit to open it in Photoshop still.
Are you struggling? Like you need help, or is the computer struggling to open it? You need
I
to
think
share
it's
your
a
screen?
yeah, I think it's share. Yes.
Go ahead and share your screen. Just to see which one it is.
Mhm. So I'm here on Bridge here in Bridge. And then it's this document. And so
No, stop. This
oh,
is the InDesign document, and it
oh,
looks like
okay.
it is, but the actual file that we're having to open is, hold on, why is my pencil not there? But this is the file. That's the JPEG that we imported into Bridge. So that's the one you need to open.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, that's fine. I'm glad you asked to share.
Thank you.
Double click. There it is. It should open. Now I'm going to let you sit there with that. And can you go back for a second to InDesign since you're still
Yes.
sharing? Because that's Photoshop is opening. Meanwhile, can you go back to InDesign? I want to see for a second. What? So if you go click over here to go to InDesign.
Oh, yes, sorry. My thing's covering.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it gets after a while. Anyway. Can you show me again what it did when you did a right click?
Yes.
To edit.
So I do the right click, and then if I do edit with, I only get orig or other. So when I click that,
Okay.
it just opens this.
Yeah, it doesn't let you
Yeah.
open it up. So, okay,
Mhm.
good. Just wanted to see what it was doing.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but by now Photoshop is open. So go ahead and open Photoshop, and I'm going to
Mhm.
stop your share.
Thank you.
And there we go.
Thank you.
And I'm going to share mine. So Eric, you're all set. You opened it up.
Yes, I opened it up.
Okay, good. And now I'm sharing my screen. Photoshop. Okay, so there's so many things to learn about Photoshop. As I said before, you have I teach three different Photoshop classes. There's other instructors. There's Illustrator classes. So I'm not teaching you these programs per se, but in order to learn what we're doing, you will be covering some tools. And there's one particular cool tool. It is a tool. It is a cool tool that's relatively new. If someone hasn't used Photoshop in a while, those of you who are in my Photoshop classes, we've been using it, but it's called the remove tool. So since I just said, let's go ahead and remove this, car, let's go ahead and use it. And so if you hover over here on the left on all your tools, and by the way, what workspace are we in? We're in Core Tools. That's where you probably are. Just trying to make sure that over here, guys, if you are in photography, so this is the workspace. If you're in a different one, Core Tools is the one that I want you to be in. So this is the works. I didn't take you to this the other day. I showed you workspaces in other programs, but I didn't show you workspaces in Photoshop because we barely opened it. So open up and make sure that in this little icon here, and mine is not sharing too well. Let me move it over to the side of the screen. Here. See how it says Core Tools or Essentials or Motion or Painting or Photography? And when I choose one of these different ones, my tools change. So right now, at the very basic use of Photoshop, I want us to be in Core Tools. Now, if you don't have the latest version of Photoshop, you might not see the word Core Tools. That is very new, so you might not have it. So if you find the Core Tools workspace and you are in it, then give me a yes. I'm just moving some things around to have some space for my Zoom tools. Give me a second. Keep trying to find what in this computer, what's the best spot for my tools. There we go. So back to Photoshop. So did you all find the core tools set up? No, says Patty. Go ahead and share your screen because I don't know if VDI has the latest version. It doesn't have the latest version. It won't have the core tools. Go ahead and share your screen.
I feel like I'm running into so many issues.
No, but that's fine. This is Eric has been used VDI last week. He's been using Photoshop for a while. It makes
Mhm.
sense that this is your first time that you have more questions. But over here on the right side, yeah, so it looks like you don't have the version that has core tools anymore. VDI isn't have the latest, most newest version, and the newest, latest version has the core tools. But see, it didn't have it. So this is just not an old computer, old. It's just one version old, and it just updated last week. No, the core tools appeared about 3 weeks ago, but I guess the school hasn't updated the VDI version of Photoshop yet, so that's okay. So then let's head over to, it's okay to be in Essentials. So let's all change to Essentials, guys, so that we have the same, so that we all have the same tool set. So everyone change to Essentials, and then over here, this is the only thing that's gonna happen, is that in Essentials, no, don't stop sharing, because I was showing you something else. Please share again. Oh, you weren't. No, it was me who clicked on something else. Sorry. When I clicked over here, I dropped out of your share. Okay, so here's the problem is that you don't have space in your resolution of VDI to see all the tools. It keeps going down. So go ahead and click on this teensy little arrow there. It's two little double-headed arrow and your tools will double up. So see up there, that teensy little, yeah, click on that. There, so now your tools doubled up. You see that? So now you can see all your tools. Before, basically all of these tools were hidden because they were too long. So by doubling them up, now you can see all of them. So go ahead and click on this on and off a few times so you can see what happened. It's one single file or double file. Does that make sense? Now, because you're on VDI, you have this weird little thing here that when you click on, that's a VDI thing. Go ahead and click it and you'll see. This is just the whole VDI student desktop thing. And then when you want to get rid of it, you'll have to click over there again. So you might be in trouble. Sometimes you might not be able to get to the tool that's right under there if we happen to need it. When I point to it and it's a tool that you can't see, then maybe you need to like move your Photoshop or something, but don't worry for now, whatever that tool might be, we're not going to use it, okay? And yeah, don't worry about having to share VDI is wonderful. People who don't have the application can have it, but it isn't set up absolutely perfectly. And sometimes there's issues that are just because you're on VDI beyond whether you're doing it right or wrong, okay? So don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so guys, what was I saying? Oh, let me shift also to Essentials then. Here we go. So now I'm in the Essentials workspace. See, for me, the resolution of the screen is enough that I'm seeing them all, so I don't need to double up. But if I were to double up, then I guess it's these tools here that you're missing. That at some point we're going to need some of them, but if so, we'll talk about it because you have that little thing there. Okay, so I'm going to leave them doubled up just to make it easier to have both Erica and and Patty follow through. And you guys can double up too, but what we're going to do is we're going to find the remove tool. And in the core tools, just for those of you who have core tools for a second, the Band-Aid over here had a little tiny arrow underneath it, which I showed you, I believe I showed it to you in Illustrator last week, where whenever there's this little tiny dot, or it used to be a bigger triangle, now it's showing up like a tiny dot, it means there's more than one tool under it. So if I click and hold, there's more tools under it. If I click and hold, there's more tools under it, but I'm not having to click. A lot of people think I need to click on that teensy little arrow. No, just click on the tool and hold, and then there's they are, right? So if you click and hold on the Band-Aid looking thing, there's the remove tool. I'm going to go over to the Essentials now. And same thing. under the Band-Aid, when you click and hold, there's a ton more possible tools than we had in the core tools. Now, say that I'm, for example, in the photography workspace, then suddenly in the photography, all the little Band-Aids are set up on their own. So each workspace that I choose, my tools change. Does that make sense? That's all I'm trying to teach you. Depending on the workspace that you choose over on the far top right, you're going to have access to different tools. And it's not, if you're missing one or another, it just either know where you might find it, or you can add them to your different setups. But for now, it's not missing, it's just hiding. We're going to click and hold. And it's the second one is the remove tool. And I click on the second one, it's the Band-Aid with the little stars. Click on that one. And if you get a message over here, just, it's fine, give it a, it's basically telling us that it's a brush tool. And I'm going to teach you something about brush tools. But the most important thing we need to do here is that when you first turn this tool on, I believe that that it's set up this way, like you have that turned on and these are off. Yes, Eric?
I'm using the Photoshop and VDI,
Yeah.
and it's not letting me use that remove tool because it's giving me that error message. I have it installed on my regular computer.
You have
Could-
Photoshop, yeah, you don't have the other stuff, but you won't be able to do this work
Mm, okay.
in outside of VDI. And you're right, the remove tool wasn't working well for you in Photoshop, was it?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's not use a remove tool because it doesn't really matter which tool we use. I remember now that you weren't able to do that. And so I need to tell them what's up that they're not updating the VDI. Can you, Eric, or somebody who's has some wherewithal to send me an email, can you say, remember to request update of VDI Photoshop or something like that? Maybe Eric
Okay.
can send me that email or reply to, because I need to see what's happening that, that's not working. So let's change to the spot healing brush tool. Let's just get the top one then. Spot healing brush tool. We're not going to use that one. So now the only complication, not horrible, but this remove tool, which is newer, already creates a new layer for us to do things non-destructively. The top one, the one we're going to use now, the spot healing tool brush, we're going to have to create a layer for it to be non-destructive. It's no big deal, but we're going to have to do that. So let's head over here to the layers. Create a new layer down here where you see this little plus sign right at the bottom of the layers. Click on the little plus. A new layer will pop up. Okay. And now on the top, I just want you to set this one always to sample all layers, which by default it's not on. So turn it on, that way it stays that way. Tools in Photoshop stay the way you make them. So if you turn this on, the next time you use this, it'll be on. If you turn it off, next time you use it, it'll be off. So let's just turn it on because that 99% of the times we want it to be on. And now this tool has to be made bigger or smaller. And the easiest way to do that is to use the bracket keys that are in the keyboard next to the letter P. If you go to letter P and go to the right, you have some bracket keys, which the first one will make it smaller. Every time you click, your mouse will get bigger if you use one, or smaller if you use the other. So kind of tap, tap, tap your way to bigger or smaller. Okay. That's what it means by being a brush tool. Any tool that's considered a brush tool, which that thing was just informing you that this is a brush tool, can be manipulated this way. There's some other shortcuts that you could manipulate, but this is a quick one. Now I'm going to head over to where the car is, and that's too much. I'm taking too much in. Let me make this a little bit smaller because I want to make only about as big as the car and nothing else. And now I'm going to just kind of click and drag and cover just around the car, nothing else, and let go. And yeah, I don't like the result too much. I can kind of tell something happened there. I'm going to Command or Control Z. I'm going to try again. I might have a very soft brush. I'm going to head over here to where you see a number. And under hardness of brush, I'm gonna make it a little bit harder because it was a bit too fuzzy, so it was a bit hard to see. I'm gonna make it about 75-ish hardness. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna just go just around the car. Well, if I didn't know something was there, I'd be fine, but I can kind of tell something's there. It's kind of weird. Why is it being so? Huh. It's usually a better tool than this. Trying to get that shadow as well. Well, I mean, if you don't know that a car was there, it would be fine, but I don't like that it's giving such a weird line there. But anyway, I'm gonna go over it a few more times and hopefully that'll take care of that. Anyway, whole point is, even if it's very correct or not correct, is I'm not really teaching you Photoshop. As long as it looks like there's no more car there, that's all I want. Once you have no more car there, give me a yes. And meanwhile, yes, Paula?
I'm sorry, my connection wasn't working so well, so I couldn't say it before. But once I chose the spot healing brush tool, it didn't create automatically the layer for me.
No, it doesn't. This one doesn't create layers for you. This
Ah,
only
sorry,
creates-
sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
remove tool creates a new layer, but not the
Oh,
spot healing brush tool.
okay,
So
okay. All good.
down to the plus sign,
Thank
create
you.
your new layer, and then go over the car. Okay. Now, watch. I'm gonna go back to InDesign. Is the car still there? Oh, no change, right? So the big problem is that as far as InDesign is concerned, the file is still the old file. The only reason it thinks that is because I haven't yet saved this file. So in order for the change to take place, I need to save this file. So let's do a Command S, but the problem, hold on. There's going to be a problem here. But first, Patty, your hand was up, so let me first answer your question before I explain what the problem is.
Oh no, I think I figured it out because the top part, I didn't have your sample layers thing, but when I hovered over it, it's just I have the symbols instead of it actually saying
Oh, yeah,
sample. So
sometimes there's
yeah.
little symbols. Thank you. Yeah, when the image,
Mhm.
when the window's a little bit smaller, or I'm on a Mac and you're on a PC. But yeah, sometimes, oh, I can't even force it to happen right now. Why is it not? Sometimes the symbols, instead of having the name, yeah, I just messed that up. But I'm trying to recreate it and I can't. So anyway, never mind. Sometimes, guys, when the symbols don't have the same, I said essentials, give me a second. They have a little icon here instead of the words. And that's just depending on how the version and how it's presenting yourself and how much space your computer has. But anyway, you found it, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. The file that we had first imported here was a JPEG, remember? .jpeg. So in Photoshop, I just made a change, and this change made this computer be this file be a layered file. Once you have a layer and you don't want to flatten it, and why don't I want to flatten it? Look, if I turn this eyeball on and off,
We can't hear you, I think. I'm not sure if it's my connection
there we
or...
go. Can you hear me now?
Oh,
No, remember my microphone that I have to use here in class, it gives up the ghost every so often. So like 3 or 4 times in class, you suddenly will stop hearing me. Do exactly what you said, but just to tell me you can't hear me, and I have to turn it on again, and then I will go back to normal. But if you don't tell me, I keep talking. So the solution is exactly what you did, is tell me that you can't hear me. Okay. All good with the sound now? All right. So what I was saying is that this is a layered file. Just because I created a new layer, boom, it cannot be saved as a JPEG without being flattened. If I want to save it again as a JPEG for InDesign to recognize it, it needs to be a JPEG because it's asking for a JPEG. See? So I can't do that unless I flatten it. And I don't want to flatten it. I want to keep it as a layered file so that I have the option to fix it or take it or leave it. Does that make sense? So what this means is that I have to create this as a new file, a PSD Photoshop document to keep the layers alive. And then I'm going to have to replace my JPEG in InDesign with my PSD version. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, so let's do that. First of all, I'm going to save this file. And when I try to just Command S to save it, it cannot be saved as a JPEG without losing that information. So I'm going to say, oh, okay, thank you. And instead of saving it, it opens my Save As, and it's transformed it into a PSD. If you're on a PC, the name of the file will be at the bottom. If you're on a Mac, it'll be at the top. But basically, wherever you see it, it's being changed into a Photoshop format, which is PSD. We'll leave the same name. Maybe you might want to add, just for us to know, we can say minus car or something like that. No car, I'm going to say dash no car. But that's only for us to be very clear that it's a new file. But other than that, just seeing that it's a PSD, that should be very clear. And now I'm going to save it. Once you save a file, it's always going to ask you Photoshop format, maximize compatibility. Just say okay to that. It's to make sure that this file is going to be available to different versions of Photoshop. And you always want to say yes to that. So good. So I'm not working on the JPEG anymore. Now I'm working on the Autumn Fields dash no car. So if I go to InDesign, now it's logical that this isn't updating because it's a different file. So what we need to do is we need to replace this file. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's, in InDesign, we're going to click on, don't click in the center point. We're going to teach you about that. And don't click on anything else, just some neutral area of the middle of this field, the splotch, for example, makes us select. If you look around, it's making us see all the selection boxes. We have selected the placeholder box that holds the Autumn box. Now, I haven't taught you too much about InDesign yet, but remember how we needed to make a placeholder box for text the other day, that it wouldn't just write? Same with the box, the photograph. There's a placeholder box that's holding my photo. So we need to select that placeholder box. And now when you go up to File, Place, or Command or Control D, it's taking us to the same place where we had the files before. And now we need to reselect the no car version or whatever you called it. Okay, so you need to find it. If you don't know where it is, you'd have to go, for those of you who are on VDI, you'd have to click over here on VDI and make sure it takes you to your My Drive file, which is where you have the files. Yes, Eric?
For my InDesign project, I don't have those lines anymore.
Oh, did you hit the W key?
Let's see.
And
Oh, I got it.
you got him. And I'll explain that to everyone else in a minute if you forgot what that is. But anyway, so
Okay.
here's the file. Now, notice that down here at the bottom, by default, you didn't need to see this. You could have just said double rid of open, but notice that by default, the choice is replace selected item. So basically the selected item was the JPEG one. I select the no car. And once I double click or say open, it's going to replace this one for that one. Got it? So I don't have to delete one first or nothing, just selecting a new one. When I say open, the new one has appeared and it has no car. Okay. Once the new one appears, go ahead and give me a yes. And Paula's still in and out. She's dropped out again, but she keeps coming back. Hopefully she'll keep. I'm so sorry when people have Zoom issues. It's one thing I cannot help with. All right.
Sorry, where where do I go to place the, or for the place option?
Okay, file place. File place, or command or control D. Control D for you because you're on a Mac, but VDI is PC. Did you find it?
Oh, I see it. Okay.
All right. So Paula, I'm not sure when you dropped out. I'm glad you keep rejoining us, but what we did was we went to Photoshop and we saved the file as a PSD. Were you there with us for that? Okay. So once you've
Yes.
saved it as a PSD, InDesign is still sitting there with the JPEG inside because it doesn't know that you've changed it. So you need to select this photo and go back to file place and then find the new version that it'll be with your class files. It's a PSD. And I was pointing out how over here, it already says replace selected item. So basically by doing this, you're gonna replace the JPEG with the PSD. And then when you say open, the car should have disappeared. And when you go to your linked files, if you hover over here, it should show you that you are looking for, well, already it says .psd and you're looking for the PSD version. And you should have no errors and everything should be fine. Paula, tell me when you've caught up and I'll continue. Oh, by the way, this is a
Yeah,
good time.
done.
This is a good time to open the links, and this is your first time, Patty. We're gonna do a screenshot and we're gonna put this in our Padlet, which we've done a few different updates, but this is the first time we're gonna go to our links and we're gonna take a screenshot. So a screenshot, if you're on you're on VDI, right? And you're on a PC. So you're gonna do it by holding down your shift key, your Windows key, your shift key and S. Windows key, shift key and S, unless you have, there's other ways to do shortcut, to do, all right, so, and I'm gonna do a screenshot of just mainly this area, just so that I have an idea of what's behind, but also I'm catching the links panel. Okay, and I can, oh, I probably should catch that I don't have a car anymore. Here we go. So I'm catching that I don't have a car and that I have links panel. And then you're gonna go to the Padlet. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again. You're gonna click on that link in the Padlet to come over here to the Padlet. And then we're gonna post in here our screenshot. So I'm gonna go ahead and go down at the bottom. There's a plus sign. And we're gonna put your name as subject. Okay, so the subject is gonna be Patty for you. It's gonna be Deanna. And you're gonna click on write something fantastic. And for people who are on the PC or on VDI, now you can do a Control V for paste and your photo will appear. And I am gonna upload for Mac people, it's a desktop. And then here you're gonna write something about what you did. So like Eric here already wrote screenshot of the links panel, the car has been removed. All right, so here's gonna do links panel showing the original locations of the images that are linked to this document. All is good, no errors at this point. Sometimes I write more about it. Right now. I'm working on that. So here's mine. Is everyone posting theirs? Here we go. So no car, happy autumn. This is what you did to your Illustrator. Okay. So this is where Paula had played more with her Illustrator file. So she's actually showing a bunch of stuff. We had only made a little star. Okay. Cool. So let's head back to, actually, let me wait for a second until Patty gets her first post. Do you need a hand with it? Oh, there it comes. Yay. Perfect. And I like it. You're one of the people who write a lot. Yay. Some people write a lot and some people are like, Here's my post. So this is me checking that you guys are doing the work. Some of you share your screen a lot. I get to see it, but for other people, I don't see their work, and this is shows me the work is being done. Okay. All right. So here we are. We're in InDesign again, and now we're like, oh, I actually really preferred it when it had a car. Yeah, it looked better with a car. Nah, I don't know. Should it have a car? Should it not have a car? Yikes, I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me test it with a car again. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop. And I'm going to turn the eyeball off this car. So that's all I did in the layer. Turn the eyeball off. And of course, the car is still there because it was a non-destructive modification, right? So I am seeing the car again. But at this point, when I go to InDesign, I don't see any errors. I don't see anything happening there. So what's missing is that I haven't saved the file. So once you make a change that you want to see reflected, you need to save it. Now it's okay, we can save this because it is a layered file, and InDesign is expecting a layered file. So let's do a Command or Control S right here in Photoshop. And when I go back to InDesign, now I don't see a car, but what I see is an error down here and an exclamation point up there. And if I open my links panel, an exclamation point up there. Does that make sense? Why? Because InDesign goes, whoa, the file has been modified. If you hover over here, it'll say modified. Okay? So I can either double click over here and it'll update, or I can single click over there and it'll update, or I can go all the way here to the error to find out where the error was. Same thing we did before. I don't know. I don't care about going to find where the error is. All I need to do, I'm going to just double click over here this time, and boom. The update happened, no errors, and there's the car again. Okay? So basically, InDesign just reflects whatever is in the original file. As long as your computer can handle having everything open, then let's open Illustrator. Let's open this one to edit it in Illustrator. But if you're running the ends of, you know, what you can do, then you can just close Photoshop for now. You can go quit Photoshop and then come back here. And again, we can first just edit original. When you say edit original, it should take you to Adobe Illustrator. But for those of you for whom it doesn't, then, and if you do a right click, edit with Illustrator, if it doesn't open in Illustrator, then you might need to go back to Bridge and double click and open the file from here, from Bridge. It's called First Illustrator Design. In my case, it's a splotch. Okay, so we're basically going to go over here and edit this one. Kind of a little bit of a repeat of what we just did. Let me reshare my screen so that I can show InDesign, Illustrator. And again, now for some computers, having everything open at the same time is push too much. So just close the other things. Don't close InDesign because that's right now what we're using, but the others can be closed. All right, so some of you, like Paula, have already played around and created more shapes. Some of you, like me, are still stuck with this one shape, and just for the fun of it, instead of making a new one or a new color, I'm just going to change the shape of the shape, since that's kind of something we did last week. And for now, in your case, Patty, don't worry too much. Just move it around or something, or change the color. We're going to get into Illustrator later. If you've never used this, click and drag on this thing here down, and that'll give you more different tips or point. And that's good enough for now. Okay. And that's definitely not a splotch anymore in my case. So I went from splotch to, I don't know, this looks like is it 5 legs? Is that the sea stars? Don't they have 5 legs?
Starfish, a starfish.
Starfish, yeah. All right, so I have a little starfish. I don't know about you guys. I've got a little starfish. There we go. Which don't know what a starfish is doing in the fields of Normandy wine country, but never mind. Once again, nothing's happened in InDesign yet. No mention of a problem. I still have a little splotch there. And that's because I haven't saved my file. So as far as Illustrator, it's showing us the right file. As far as InDesign is concerned, it's there. So now I'm going to save this file here, Command S, and I'm going to go straight back to InDesign, and there's my error. Okay. And one error over there, and one error over there. So this time I'm going to fix it from here, simply clicking one time. So when you're on the screen, you click one time for modified or missing links. When you're in this panel, you click twice. Doesn't matter, the instructions always tell you what to do. You forget which one is one, which one is twice, just double click and it's good. It's just 2 singles, so it works. And here we go. Now I have my little star, C star in. Everything is back to no errors and life is good, and I can save my InDesign with my Photoshop that I decided to go back to having a car. I don't care if you left it in with or without car version. And my seashell, my splotch turned into a sea star. What's the other name that you said, Patty? I said sea star.
I mentioned starfish, so
Starfish, there we go. Because I know, by the way, that it's starfish in English, but you know that actually they're officially reclassifying them as sea stars. And all my life I've said sea star because in Spanish we call this a sea star. So starfish has always been hard for me to say. And surprisingly enough, I guess somehow Americans are figuring it out because now officially it's a sea star, even in English. Although I know we all say starfish, but I just don't, my brain doesn't tell me that word. Anyway, yes, Patty?
yeah, just a comment. So when I did this, when I saved mine in Illustrator and I went back to InDesign, it
Mhm.
actually automatically updated itself.
Yes.
Is
Mhm.
that usually normal for it
Yes,
to do?
sometimes it's automatic. It depends on the setup on the computer, but as long as you, many times it's magic. You go and you save in here and you come back to InDesign and boom, it's already there. But in case it's not, like in my case is one, then you just single click updates it. So it's either fixed or it needs to be updated. But either way, it's pointing to you to the fact that it's not ready to go, or it just fixes it. Okay. So cool. Everyone, if you've managed to do all of these steps and life is good, then give me a good old yes. And what we've learned is basically the most, you know, the crucial setup of how these programs work with each other. And linked versus embedded, these are all linked files. You rarely embed a file in InDesign. That said, if this is all that goes into this document, it's literally one photo, one little illustration. The text was created in InDesign, so you're not attaching anything else. If this is all you did, it's not going to be a huge file if at any point you decide to embed it instead. But it's just that it's just not done. Rarely will you find a document that's embedded. And consider if this were, you know, many of you guys are thinking about books. If you were to be creating a 20, 50 page book with 1 to 3 photos per spread, you're talking, you know, 50 photos to 100 photos. Can you imagine if all those files were embedded in here? It would be impossible. The file would just be unwieldy. It would just crash and die versus having them all be individual bits and pieces, individual files saved and set, then nothing is too much for the computer to process. Does that make sense? Another thing is that, yeah, you look at the photo and you decide, oh, I really think this photo should be darker, lighter, yellow or greener. No car, yes car. You can update it and it updates everywhere. So say that this is also the cover photo, but it's an interior photo. When you update the cover photo, it updates in both of the places where you place this photo. You wouldn't have the same photo in 2 different ways, which if you were not. Now, for the photos itself, usually we don't duplicate photos except for the simple situation of a cover photo versus an interior photo. But logos, on the other hand, is very typical. that you would have a document where the same logo appears on the cover and the back cover and the inside and the outside, or, you know, it appears many different times, and you show it to your client and they go, oh yeah, but I don't like the sea star. I was trying to say star. I don't like a starfish. How about you give me a whatever, an octopus? So then you have to turn this into an octopus, but I don't know if you can. Probably, yeah, I could give it 8 arms and add a little thingy and can make a little octopus out of it. And if I update it once, it updates everywhere because it's one linked file that you just repeated in many places. So let me show you that. Let's select this little sea star or whatever you guys made. You made a yellow star, you made a red star, you guys made whatever shape you made. Let's go ahead and copy and paste it. And here's the deal. Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign, there's a way to copy and paste that you don't have to do copy and paste. That's faster. And since it's one of those universal shortcuts, I'm going to show it to you here. Some of you who are in my Illustrator class already know it. So I could now do copy and paste. Yes, I could. But I could also hover over this shape. And remember, don't touch the middle. I'll teach you what that is in a minute. But that circle, avoid it like the plague. So go and hover over one of the legs of your star or whatever you made and make sure it's selected, okay? Because right now I have the background selected. Make sure to select your shape. You'll see the bounding box of the placeholder of your thing. Hold down the Option key if you're a Mac person or the Alt key if you're a PC person. And look what happens. My one arrow turns into a double-headed arrow. And now I can click and drag. And I've made a little copy of that shape. And I'm going to click and drag and make another copy of that shape. And then when I let go of the Alt, I ended up having 3 of this shape. Okay. Do we all have 3 of this new little shape? Whatever shapes you made. All right. So now let's go to our links panel. Yep. I have 1 file, but 3 instances of it. You see that? But it is the same file. So for better or for worse, that means that if I wanted one to be yellow, one green, and one blue, I can't do that in InDesign. I need to make 3 files. One is called splotch red, splotch green, splotch blue. Does that make sense? Because this is the same file. So let's go to InDesign and let's change the color of this thing. Let's select it, and over here where it says appearance, let's make it be red, for example. Once I save and I go back to InDesign, all of them are in trouble. But since it's the same file, if I just double click on the top, the one that's showing me that's 3, all 3 change at the same time because it is one file. So that's why I can't have versions of. If I wanted this in 3 colors, I would literally have to save 3 different files. No matter that it's the same shape, it would have to be 3 separate files to be purchased, but to be brought in here. Give me a yes if all of this worked. This would be a good one to get a little screenshot of where you have repetitive shapes and you see that it's one same file. Actually, you know what? Let's go change the color again so we can see the error. Let's go change it into one more color. And then when we go InDesign, oops, here comes Odessa. When we go in here, sorry, I forgot. Go into here and save that and then go into InDesign. And then you will see the fact that they're all in trouble. Hi, Odessa. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
No problem. I'm glad you're here.
And I went ahead and logged into the
VDI.
VDI, yeah, whatever it is.
That's great. So I have 3 of you guys on VDI then. At this
Okay.
time. So that's good. So are you
Yeah,
all set
because
up?
the web doesn't have a beta for InDesign, so I found myself just having to watch Monday. So I'm in the apps.
Great. You're in the apps, you're in VDI, and for now, just hang in there. I'm gonna walk you through getting the class files. You're muted again, so you're saying something?
I think I can get the class files. I'll wait until our break if I have trouble.
Okay, because what I did is, but everyone, meanwhile, can you post this in the Padlet with, with the errors? I want to make sure that you have the errors and that you remind yourself that you need to double click or check
Okay.
the error files. So do that while I help when I show something to Odessa, which is when you go to the class files, I have a folder with the class files and a folder called catch up. And in the folder called catch up, I have the files that we're using right now for this assignment.
Perfect.
So I want you to get there. But when you're in Bridge, you're going to have to copy and paste these into your own My Drive folder. So once you're up and running and Bridge is running, go ahead and give me, I'm going to open DigiSci Techniques here. I'm going to post mine. Give me a go ahead that you have your Bridge running, and then I'll share your screen for a minute and we'll get you those.
Okay.
Because you've done things on your computer before, not on VDI, so it's a bit different. Okay, and what did this post was for showing, okay, so the links panel is showing me the modified files warning sign because I changed something in the original document. I can fix it by clicking on the warning sign. That's all I need to say there. Okay. Cool. Back to InDesign. All right. So now, yeah, I'll just double click on that and boom, they're blue and they looked bad enough when they were yellow. Now they look horrible. So just for my eyes to be a bit more rested, I'm going to make them back to yellow because somehow that's just killing me. Now, here's the good news. I'm in Illustrator. I haven't used Illustrator all day. And so when I go to Illustrator, all the colors that I've been running through are showing up here as recent colors. I don't need to guess. And the first one was that yellow color, so I can go back to the original yellow color instead of having to guess amongst all of these which one it was. I'm going to save that again, and I'm going to, oh, I thought I had saved it. Let me see, save, there, now it's saved. And now I can update. Okay, all right. Now we didn't really need 3 of these stars. This was just for me to show you how multiple iterations of the same image show up, but I don't need all 3, so I'm going to delete some. And how do you do that? Watch, because there's 2 ways to delete things, the correct way and the incorrect way. So I'm going to get one of these copied documents, and I am going to select it again from one of these legs, and I'm going to begin to show you why I've been telling you not to select that area. For now, just trust me. If I select this guy and hit the delete key, for example, on my keyboard, that's the correct way to delete it. The whole thing is gone. Versus this second one, hopefully you all have 3 to do this with. If I select this from the inside, like that little circle that I've been telling you guys to avoid, then delete it. Then notice that I've deleted the file, but that the box, the placeholder, is still there. Let me just move it over here a little bit more so you can see. Again, I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to show you the difference. We're going to learn the difference now between one or the other. If I deleted the box, select with the box selected, and I hit the delete, both the placeholder box that held the star plus the star disappeared. But if I'm holding the tool from the inside, and I'm going to show you what I mean from the inside by clicking on this little circle, and I hit the delete key, then my placeholder box stays, but it's an empty placeholder box. Does that make sense? So now we're going to begin to understand how InDesign works, and you'll understand this a bit better. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for joining us. All right, so hang in there. I'm about to get Odessa her files, and I can help you get the files too. So anyway, this placeholder box that was hard to see there because of all the lines, but it's empty if you do it that way. So for now, select that box too. If you find it somewhere, and hit the delete key to delete both. And we'll be back in this original image. Go ahead and give a big old save. And we're going to start with a completely new file now. So it's okay for Odessa and Barbara if we don't come back to this file. You both just joined us right now. We're going to let this sit. When we need it again, I can get you guys go to the catch up, okay? For now, this is all we need. All right. Hey, Barb, do you have, I believe you know what? For now, it doesn't matter. How about we do this? We'll keep talking. We're going to make a new file. We're going to work on a new file. When we get to the point that we need the class files, then it'll be nearer to break time. And then I'll get Odessa and Barb, I'll get them the class files. Okay? I can't.
No problem. I was late.
That's fine.
I laid down, I shut my eyes for a minute and I fell asleep.
Yep, don't worry, not at all. All right, so we're all going to create a new file in InDesign, and we're going to begin to learn a bit more about InDesign. So file, new, document, and let me I need to share my entire screen for you guys to see that. So I'm going to leave, because on the Mac, these things appear way up there, and I say file, new. It gives me a choice of new what? New document, new book, or new library. We want to hit new document. Now, it's also the default Command N, which in every Adobe program, Command N means new. So it defaults to 99.9% of the times we want to make a new document. That doesn't mean that if you're making a book design, you wouldn't also create a new document. A book is a different thing. Hard to explain, but right now, let's have the file new document. I'm going to clear your feedback. Give me a yes when you're all here. We're in InDesign, Barbara. Just so you know what
I
to
just
open up.
open it. I've got I printed out how to hook up a second monitor and went to bed and went to sleep and didn't read it. I have another monitor. but
That's
it-
fine. So then you
Oh.
have between here and next Monday to hook up the new monitor. So don't worry. For now, we're good. All right. So Odessa, do you have a new file opening up? Paula?
Well, I
Mm,
think I came into a wrong desktop, so I'll just follow along and wait
No,
until
no.
the break.
Well, share your screen then, because that's two times now that you can't. It's okay. Just give me a quick share
Okay,
and let me help you catch up, because this from now on, I do want, it's okay if you couldn't catch up to the file that we've been working on since the beginning, but now I want you to be on it. So share your screen.
so what do I put in the
Just go
add
to
people, just
share.
your name?
What?
Oh, there you are, never mind. I've forgotten how to do this remotely.
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, Rodessa's taken a few of my other classes, but you haven't had to share your screen for a bit. So yeah, so share.
No, and
and
usually
share,
I'm sharing my screen and not the remote screen.
not the Zoom screen. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
the same, because Zoom is about your screen. It doesn't matter if you're looking at VDI or not. It's just
Okay,
go to Zoom and click the share button twice, and it'll share whatever's on it,
okay.
remote or not.
Did that go through?
No, not yet. So tell me where you're at. and I'll
Clicking share and it says add people or groups, and then it has your name.
No, when you
Hello?
say share, stop again, leave, because mine, you were probably trying to share when I was sharing, and I just
Maybe.
stopped sharing. So go ahead and back off and do the share again. It should be pretty automatic. Read it to me to tell me what it's saying.
So at the top of my VDI to the right, it says share. So I'm clicking on share. A screen pops up that says ask to share VDI instructions.
Okay, so stop for a minute. I don't
Okay.
know why you're trying to share VDI.
I don't
Go
either.
to your Zoom. Are your VDI is not,
Oh,
Zoom is
gotcha.
not inside of VDI. Zoom is outside of VDI.
Ah, got it. Now I'm in the share button. Whoo.
Yeah, got it. Cool. Because it's yeah, there you go. All right. So now Let's just back out of here. So you left VDI though. You're not in VDI anymore.
Well, this whole thing is in VDI.
Are you on a Mac or on a PC normally?
I'm in a Windows machine on the Chrome VDI.
I don't
No, am I not?
know.
Okay.
If you're sharing your entire desktop, you're not in VDI right now. Let me just back up for a minute. Don't keep doing stuff. Give me a second. Go here to this the file explorer right there. Let me check and see if you are or not. So this is your computer.
I logged in and saw the desktop, but it was different than in the instructions.
Yeah, because you're not in VDI. You're in your own company. Go to documents for a second, just to make sure these are your files, right? Yeah, this is your computer, so this is not VDI. Okay, so go ahead and close this on the top. Okay, so now let's go ahead and over here, type vmview.sbcc.edu. And I'm looking at the time, see if I can do this during break. Okay, so click on this.
And I went to this one.
Yeah, click on that, yeah. Problem is that you did this, but then, oh, hold on, my room forgot that I'm here and I need to move.
Yeah, and then I went to the student desktop.
Yes, student desktop, yeah, that's good. So I need to move there, so the lights turn on again. Okay, and the issue, okay, say okay to that, and then say okay to that, and then say okay to that, and allow while visiting the site. When you're in VDI, say okay. Down here. No, not up there. Here. Allow while visiting the site.
Oh,
Okay.
got you.
Now, hang in there for just a minute.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You need to make this window bigger now. So go ahead and expand this window.
This one?
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is your VDI window. Why is this so big? Go ahead and say get started. And sign in, and you're going to have to put in your pipeline username. Put your entire pipeline username and add pipeline.sbcc.edu. And then since you're going to have to write this a bunch more times, go ahead and select it and copy it because you're going to have to write it like 3 times. Oops, you didn't select it and copy it. Oh, well.
Oh,
That's-
sorry.
It's okay. Just say you're going to have to write it a bunch more times. So go ahead and say sign in. Good. Now close this little window. Over here, there's an X. Just leave this for now. We don't need that. Leave this for now. Let's just say quit. And then we'll close this one as well. I might need us to do it again, but we'll see. And close this one. And now close this one. It's a bunch of stuff that opens up that we don't need to start with. Okay, so now the problem is that you might have been here before, but then you went back and chose to see something else or whatever, so you fell out of VDI. Next time you do anything while you're in VDI, you need to do it in a new tab. Like this tab, you need to protect like gold because this is your VDI. So don't go back and forth or anything on here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now in here, in this search, which is your VDI, not this one, this is your computer. See, for Mac people, it's a bit easier to be on VDI because down here you have Mac tools and here you have, PC tools. Or for PC users, here are your PC tools and here are your VDI PC tools. And that's why it's a little bit complicated to see. That said, you have Windows 10 over there and you have Windows 11 here, so that might help you.
Close.
All right, so go ahead and search over here
To
and
force an
put
app to
in the
close,
word bridge.
double-click the home button, then swipe up on.
There, go ahead and open Bridge. So now you're opening Bridge inside of VDI. All right, and I'm helping Odessa get the files, although we don't really need the files. I just need to understand what was happening to her. But Barbara you know, you remember how to get files from the shared drive. So maybe if you go to the Digital Sign Techniques shared drive, maybe you can download the class files meanwhile. Okay, so I'm waiting over here. You should be seeing your PC, but nothing. There it is. Go to this PC. Okay. Oh, you can't do anything. Here's where you have to put in your pipeline again. Oh, Burrow at pipeline.spc.io.
Okay, now I need another window.
And you're gonna have to use this again a few more times. So this time copy and paste. So select it all and copy it. Okay, now say continue. And now put the whole thing in there again, paste. Command V, because you just copied it.
This
Okay,
is
say
not where I want to
next.
be.
And then we're almost there. So guys, thanks for patience. So here, go to FCC. No, yeah, FCC. No, because you're using the schools.
So no,
No, it's okay. You already did it. It's fine. Whichever one you did should be fine. Okay, close that. Right there. Close that little X. Yeah. Okay. And now go to this PC. Google Drive, double click. Sorry guys, thanks for the patience. Go to shared
Oh
drives,
God, where is it?
click Digital Sign Techniques. And now let's wait for a minute. Okay, Barbara, I'm assuming you're looking for the files. Okay, everyone else.
I'm trying to
help us.
find the right spot in City College. I don't want that dashboard. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna help, if you don't get the files on your own, Barbara, I'm gonna help you after class, but Odessa's never used VDI, so it's a bit harder. So
No, I'll find it. I just,
select these two, go ahead and select one shift and then the next one, click shift. Good. Now do right click copy or command C or right click because you're in the VDI. So right click and copy. There it is. Okay. Now let's go back to Google Drive. It has never used VDI, so that's why I'm having, she's long story. Why over here, no, hold on. No,
you told me not to do that.
nothing. Go back to Omnissa Horizon. Omnissa Horizon, yes. So now we're never leaving VDI until the end of the class. So don't go
Okay.
anywhere else ever. Over here, we're going into Google Drive and
Oh, gotcha.
okay. Now you're clicking My Drive. Right here, My Drive. Double click. Okay, and now you're going to do a right click and paste.
I'm getting click happy.
Yeah.
oh,
Click and click away.
want a
Again.
second
You might have
window.
clicked on something. Did you do it? Right click. So did you not copy the stuff before?
Thought I did.
Thought you did too.
So go to this PC again.
Nope, go back to Google Drive. Shared drives. Design Techniques. But you did leave for a moment up here and over there, so maybe it
Maybe that did it.
copy.
So I can't do copy too.
No, go to,
Okay.
well, I guess you could, okay. I think last time we tried the copy too and it didn't work, so that's why I'd rather. just
Perhaps.
do copy.
Okay, and then go to Google Drive.
Did you do a copy? I didn't see it. You
I
did it?
copied it, yeah.
Okay, got it. Go to Google Drive. Maybe it's because it's two folders. I don't know. Go to My Drive. I've always done one folder at a time. I've never done two. Right click, paste.
God.
Yeah, they're there. Paste. Okay. All right. Once they're copied, yeah, I don't think it likes two folders. Go ahead and say okay to that.
Yes.
Well, Digital Techniques did work. Okay, grab this and no, but this is, oh, you copied the entire folder, not just the class files. That's the problem. Double click. Yeah, this is not the folder you had to copy. Yeah, this is the entire folder, which is not what we needed. So go back for a second to Google Drive. Yeah. enter shared drives. Sorry, guys, I thought this would be a little bit faster. Go ahead, enter digital sign techniques. Yeah, you just copied all of that. I needed to copy this one. Right click. Now you have all of that in there. Yeah. Now copy this one. Okay, back to Google Drive, my drive. Yeah, and then get rid of this because it's huge amounts of stuff. Right click and delete that one. There it is, delete. And say, yeah, delete. Okay, and now right click and paste that one. Okay, when it finishes copying, then drag it here.
I don't like what they've done
Okay.
here.
So once it finishes copying, just grab it and drag it over right there.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to stop your share. And then you can click on that folder and it'll be in the class files. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry about that. And thanks for your patience. And I'm going to share my screen again and let's keep working. Barbara, I'm going to work on a new file anyway. If you don't have the class files yet, it doesn't matter.
I have a
This was
terrible.
a little bit different because she hasn't used VDI and she wouldn't have been able to do this on her own.
Oh, I hate what they did to the web page. I have a horrible time finding the shared drive now.
Yeah, it's okay. Hang in there. Just go to InDesign and open a new file. We're all going to do that. We're gonna
Okay, I've got
file
that.
new, file new document, and let's just start from scratch on a document. First of all, remember what happened last time? We had to choose between print, web, or mobile. Let's just say print. Let's click on print. Let's let it be letter, but over here on the right side, we're going to change this to inches. And this time we're going to make this be more than one page. So we're going to make this be 8 pages.
Okay.
And we're going to keep this checked. It is checked. And I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. There's a difference, a very big difference if it's checked or not. Now we're going to leave it checked, which
You're
means
gonna-
we will have something called facing pages. You will see that once we get in. The rest we're going to leave as is. And for now, we're not going to have bleed. We're gonna put bleed in a minute. Okay.
0.5.
So, let me clear your answers and I'm going to give you a hand in a second, Barbara. We're not going to put a bleed. We're just going to do that. And we're going to say create.
8.5.
But I'm going to leave that there. Does anyone have any questions about this? So basically it's going to have a margin, 8 pages, 8.5 by 11. That's the only changes. Say create. Once your document has been created, then
8.5, 5 half.
Barbara, you want to share your screen so I can help you catch up? Go ahead and share.
Where's the share button? Hang on, I gotta
Okay.
make that window bigger.
In the Zoom at the bottom where you
There
see
it is.
the
I had to
green button.
make the window bigger.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so looks like you got, it's almost good, but you got, I think you don't have 8 pages. Maybe you do. Click on the pages.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, maybe you do. Click on the pages icon, which I'm about, I just don't see if you have facing pages. Let me see. Click over here. Let me, my mouse, my little button. Here we go. Click over here.
Oh,
on
click. I
pages.
want to click on that, the
Oh,
box.
but
that
you've
says-
already created it right now. So it might need to be reset. Yeah, so say okay to that. Go up here to this circle. Can you see what I'm circling up in the top? It
Is
says-
it the 9 boxes?
Yeah, click on the word pages. Oh, because you have Zoom in the way over here. I'll say you need to move this over a little bit so that you can see, because you must have the Zoom stuff here, which is hiding parts of your InDesign. So grab your InDesign and drag it over to the left a little bit until you can see it. Okay, good. So now here I was sending you to the pages icon. And yeah, you don't have 8 pages. So let's just redo this one. Go ahead for a second. Turn this off. Close this
Where are you?
over here. I'm going to the document right there and click on that X to get rid of it. Yep. and say don't save, and let's open again. Say new file one more time. And over here is where you're gonna go the inches, and here's where you're gonna click on facing pages. And here's where you're gonna put the number 8.
11 by 8.5, and I want 8 here.
8 there. And you're gonna have, yeah, and then that one.
Facing pages check.
Yep, check it. Good. And now say create.
Okay.
So down here at the bottom, create, and there you go. Oh,
Oh, I need 2 monitors.
it's okay. We can, no, you know what? It's okay. So we can change the setup. So see how she had hers in tabloid format, which isn't a big deal for this class. You can have it one way or another, but let's head over here to the tools. So I can show you how to do that if you need to fix something. She could have added 8 pages, by the way. I just wanted her to start from 0. But go ahead and go to the edit. I believe it's just under edit, maybe it's layout, but hold on, not edit. Not under edit, go to file. No, up file instead of edit, and go to document setup.
Oh,
File and document setup. Yeah, there it is. And here's where we can turn the
8
orientation.
pages, facing pages.
Orientation right there.
You want it 8, you want it 11 tall?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By
Okay.
the way, everyone pay attention. This is where, see how she hadn't originally done her facing pages in 8. I just had to restart, but this would have worked just as fine. You can, in the middle of all things, go to edit and suddenly over here, change the basic setup that we did before. You can just change it right here. Okay. All right. Say okay. So everyone go to edit document setup so that you can see what she did. And I'm going to stop your share because now you're at the same place as everyone else.
Oh, now I see them over here too. 1, 2, 3, 4,
So
5.
now I'm going to share my screen so that I can be at the same spot with
Oh,
everyone.
we're gonna do something new.
Here we go. So right now, if you're not seeing the same thing Barbara was seeing, it's because, here we go. It's because I had her click on this word here that's pages, and she's seeing that. Okay. So over here, we're in properties.
I have a quick question.
Pages. Yes, Odessa.
So my application, I should be able to type in InDesign in that floating window, not my bottom bar, but the floating window. And should it come up?
Not in the floating window, but in the bottom bar. Hold on, share your screen because I don't know which one you mean. Share your screen for a second. Okay,
So
so
in
there,
this
in
bar,
in that search, you should be able to write InDesign.
I'm afraid to do anything now.
Yeah. InDesign, there it is. And click on that one. Oh. Yep, right there. Open that one. And
No, I could have swore I did that, but I'm just not.
now
Okay.
here's the thing. For some reason, when you have all of this window to use, you're way over there. Do you have Zoom here on this side, just to clarify? Are you seeing Zoom here, or why is this empty?
Oh, I have my Zoom in a little strip. I just have my applications.
Okay, because then it's better if you see how you're hiding some of your window. I would move this window a bit more to the center or to the middle or something so that you can see all your bridge. So from here, from where I'm pointing, is the pink not showing up? No, you're just making it whiter, but you're not moving it. So you need to bring it a bit in again. Yeah. And then move it. No, not so much. Okay. And then move it from there. Yeah. So yeah, move it over to, yeah. And I didn't need it so tiny. I just needed it a little bit less. And
Okay.
now yes, open it and make it bigger. Yeah. I just don't, wherever. So now grab it from here and drag it all the way there. You do need to be able to see it. I just needed to see all of it. And my problem is I couldn't see all of it. Okay, good. Now, InDesign already opened up, but it's in the background. So now you're not going to move your apps anymore. You're going to switch this way.
Okay, I can
to
switch that way.
InDesign.
That's the way the Mac is.
Yeah,
Zoom
exactly.
in.
So
Okay.
that's equivalent.
Okay.
All right. So now go to File, New document, or just here, New File. That works as well. Here, left side where it says new file. Cool, and then over here, change that to inches.
1029.
Move my little-
Over here, Odessa, yeah, change it to inches, yeah, and then just the number 8, that's all we need over there. Page and pages is already clicked. And now, for some reason, you're not seeing everything down there, so you need to just drag this up from here, from this white area, no, from Odessa, you need to drag this up or you won't see the okay, no matter that you scroll, so you need to see where I'm pointing. Do you see a pink circle? Do you see my indications or not? Sometimes people don't see them. Do you
And
see
no, not right now. I was seeing them, but I'm not seeing it now.
Okay, so then, if you don't see where I'm making a pink circle, then go put your mouse on this box that says, let's start something new, on the words, let's start something new. On the word, let's start something new. Okay, about an inch above, you see a white bar. A bit higher up. Right about, yeah, there, that white, yes, that one helps you move it up. Okay. Now you're still, now down here, for some reason it's at the bottom, that's your okay. Go ahead and hit your return or enter key and that should be your okay. I don't know why it's outside.
Maybe I can tab down to it.
It's
Nope.
okay, just hit
Oh, yeah.
return or enter and it should mean okay. Hit your return or enter key. There we go. I'm just worried that the resolution is such that you weren't seeing the whole thing. Okay, good. Now you're in InDesign, and since it's your first time, you'll click on this X to get rid of that. And good. And
Okay.
now where I just took everyone is to this word pages. So click on the word pages over there. Now you're seeing my pink. Okay, that's good.
Perfect.
And then down here, just click on this X so that you don't see the X anymore. Good. I'm going to stop
Thank
your
you,
share,
Diane.
and I will continue. All right. So the rest of the apps, we open them by opening things from Bridge, but InDesign, you didn't have it open yet, and we're creating a new file from scratch. So you had to open the app from scratch, which is why you were in that place of not knowing how to open an app in VDI, which is different. Okay. All right. So this is the pages that I was showing you. Now, if you've used apps before with me, you know how important the properties panel is. It's very important. We need to see it all the time. But the pages panel is also very important. So the first modification I'm going to make over here is I don't want to see either properties or pages. I want to see both at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the pages panel by the word pages, and we're going to drag it over here. So watch me do it first. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to just drag it until my mouse sees this little box, not there, the long blue line, or there, another long blue line. I need to see a little box right there. When my mouse hovers over that and let go, and now I will have installed my pages over here and my properties over here, and I should have pages to the left, properties to the right. When I click and unclick the pages, that should be, that's the ideal way to see this. Once this is working, and then it's so big, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Once this is working for you, let me know. If for any reason it doesn't work, let me get clear your answers and then let me know. Okay, so Barbara, yeah, how can I help?
I have that narrow column. I have two.
2 narrow columns. So then let's do this. Go to the word essentials and say reset essentials, which is up there. Reset your essentials so that you
Okay.
have everything normal. And
Oh,
now
I don't
now
tab.
it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now watch it. Let me grab this pages and let's put it in there ourselves, and then we can collapse. But no, that's not the same because it doesn't collapse to tiny. So let me see what we can do. Instead of essentials, let me go for essential a second into essentials classic book. Let's see one that has that little bar there, that little tiny.
Oh, yours says Essentials Classic.
Yeah, okay, let's keep it in essentials then. Reset essentials. And when you put the bar out here, it looks like we're gonna have to make a new little bar. So wait until you see the entire line, and then you can collapse it, and then you can collapse it even more. So when you see the entire bar like that, you click on this little double-headed arrow right there to make it a little bit skinnier. But then you're gonna have to grab the edge and make it even skinnier, and then it'll turn into that little sidebar that I wanted. If I've lost you guys at all, I can help you with this. Let me clear your feedback.
It doesn't
Well-
get as skinny as yours.
Yeah, it doesn't to start with. It's wider. So now you put your mouse on the edge and you drag it in until it pops in to become really skinny. Okay, is that working?
It's not doing it.
All right, share your screen. Anyone else who might have?
Oh, I
visual-
got it. I hit the arrows and it
Okay.
went skinnier.
All right, so everyone else, give me a yes if you have that pages and that little skinny bar on the left side. Give me a yes. Okay, good. So now I can reshare my screen.
This is wild.
All right. Now, one other thing that I had here before, but then when I reset, I lost. You might or not have it. By the way, is everyone in essentials? Is that the mode
Yes.
that you kind of defaulted to? Let me clear your answers. So then let's go over here to window and let's also bring up the layers. Let's go to window and layers. And that's gonna put itself at this point in my.
Now I've got two columns again. So do I move the pages over where the layer?
Jana, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so Barbara, I also ended up with two different columns because the way we're creating it is giving us the second column version. So watch, I grab, see how I have two little thin columns? I'm gonna
Yep.
grab this little icon of pages and I'm gonna drag it and pop it in right there. And then the second one will disappear and I'll have one.
Oh, good. It did.
Now, so does everyone have their layers and their links and their pages like that? If so,
There's links pages. Yes.
I'm gonna have us put one or two more things, then I'm gonna have us create a new workspace just for the class. So Howard, Paula, Odessa, how are you doing with this? Does it look like mine or is it quite different?
It looks like yours.
All good.
Okay, all good.
I have pages, I don't see layers, and I
Okay,
am
so-
in
all right,
essentials.
So go up to Windows and click on Layers.
Okay.
You got it now? Odessa?
Yes. Yes, I have it now.
And it popped it into the right spot, or do you
Yep.
need to pop it in there? It popped into.
Nope, I've got it.
Okay, we're gonna bring in one more thing, guys. We're gonna go up to window and we're gonna bring in, let's go over to type and tables. And let's go to character.
Window.
Type and tables.
Did you go all the way to the top where it's file, edit, layout?
Yeah.
To
Where it says
window?
file edit layout, very far to the right, it says Windows. And then
Right.
type in tables.
And then,
Type in tables and then character.
oh, there it is.
Okay. Now, this one popped independently for me. So now I'm gonna drag it from the word character. I'm gonna just drag it in there. And now I've added character. Okay. And I'm gonna go one last time to window, type in tables, and I'm gonna bring in paragraph.
Paragraph. I don't have paragraph.
Same place, you go to window, and you have to go down to type and tables.
Oh, okay.
There you'll find paragraph, way down there. And when you click on that, we're going to then grab paragraph and we're gonna
And
just
put it in
pop it
there.
in there. So now we're collecting some tools that are pretty cool. And the last one I want us to do is go to window and pop in the history, which didn't exist before in InDesign nor in
Oh,
Illustrator.
that's
It
not
only
where I
existed in
want
Photoshop.
you.
Now it exists in all three programs. Get over to history.
What was the last thing you said, Dan?
History. Go back up to window and open history. There's so many we could be opening, but these are good ones. Now history, for me, popped open in its own little thing. History, historically, history has always been at the very top of the second column. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to just put it in here, but I'm going to put it at the very top. And I see a little blue line. And there, I'm going to let go. So now my history popped up at the top. Then I have layers and links, pages, character, and paragraph. And if your order isn't the same, it doesn't matter. You could just grab one and drag
the
it and move
last
it up
thing?
or down. But as long as you have those guys there and all is good, then we're going to create a new workspace with all these things that we're going to use to start with.
I'm sorry, what was the last one?
History.
Virgin history?
History.
That's on under window?
It's under window, yeah.
Okay, there's history up high and version history down low.
No, not version history. I don't want version history. I just want
History, okay. Got her.
It's a bit different. It's very different. No, I don't want version history.
Wow, we got all kinds of things in there now.
Right. Is everyone got all of these
That's it.
goodies
One,
piled
two,
up?
three. Yes.
Give me a yes. And if you have all these goodies piled up, basically what we're doing here to this one, you can do in any of the programs. So whatever I'm showing you here, I'll show you in different programs. I'll show you something and I'll tell you when it's across the board, then you can go and do that yourself, right? So when we work in Illustrator, the tools you prefer, you set them up, you create a new workspace. When Photoshop, the same way. Now I'm just doing it here. We got our good old set. It's not essentials anymore. So now we're going to go to the word essentials and we're going to say new workspace. New workspace. We're going to call this one Deanna's class or digital design techniques or whatever. So I'm going to call this one DDT for digital design techniques. And I'm going to leave it there, DDT. And I'm going to say, okay. But you can call it whatever you want. And now, no matter that we move to a different one, and I go back to typography, I go back to Essentials Classic, when I just go back to DDT, it should be set up the way we just set this one up. Once that is up and running and it's working and you got your new workspace, give me a yes. And then click on it and give me a screenshot of this, of your new workspace.
Oh, with that drop down?
Padlet, and then we're gonna take a break.
What is it? Shift command 4?
Start from scratch.
And you just named the workplace DDT.
I call it this design techniques, call it class, call it Deanna's class, call it my workspace for your own, call it whatever you want, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's,
Shift command 4.
we went to the window
Oh, I still don't have DT.
choice in the menu
Command.
bar above and opened the history layers,
Now what do I do?
character, what else? Paragraph,
Then how do I?
and we also placed the pages tab from next door panel into the thin column.
I don't remember how to put it in there.
Okay, I'm gonna go help you in a second.
Oh, come on, it disappeared. I'm taking up too much time.
Well, I'm not with you yet. I'm still posting, so. Okay.
Diana, can we make sure that when people are not participating, they're muted? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm hearing a couple of people in the background. It's disturbing a
Yeah,
bit.
give me a second.
That was
Well,
me, I'm sorry.
Barbara's
I'll
talking,
mute me.
needing help, but yeah, if people are just moving around, that's noisy, but Barbara was needing a hand and I said to just wait because I was posting this. Barb, share your screen really quick and then once I make sure you got it, then we're gonna. Okay, so you have most of them. You have layers, you have pages, you have history. The only difference is that I put the history on the top, but that doesn't matter. You have your history down there, but that's fine. Now, if you were, just because I'm accustomed to that history is always at the top, I'm accustomed to seeing it at the top. If you want to try and moving it to the top, but that's up to you. You can get it somewhere else. But if you want to try to click on it and drag it until you see a blue line up there, which is now, yeah, keep going one more. Okay, now that's just a bit more like how I have it, but that's all. But now oh, but you had already made your panel as DDT. So now when you recreate it, history will appear in the bottom again. That's fine. This is good. You got your panel, you got everything I asked for. Are we missing anything? Let me look at mine. I think you have, yeah, you got everything.
When I open it up again, I go over here to like essentials and I go up to DDT.
So go to essentials now, or essentials classic, go to anything. Go to anything, it doesn't matter which. The panel will be different. Over here is where you had created it. So go and reset your essentials. Click on that and reset essentials. Yeah, reset essentials. Yeah. So now, when you try to see how the essentials doesn't have all that panel. Now, when you want all those tools, you would have to go back to essentials and reset. Whoops.
There, I think it's right now.
Yep. Okay, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
take a break, you guys, and come
And
back.
that'll just stay there.
Yeah, and from now on until you ever want to change it, it'll stay here. All right, so let's take, we're gonna take a 15-minute break usually at this point. What time is it?
Were there files I was supposed to download?
7:18. I'll stay with you and download files. We're back in 15 minutes. That's why I'm giving a 15 because I know I need to help you a bit. But let me put a time on that. It's 7:18. What's 15 minutes, you guys? Somebody
I'm trying
give it
to
out for me.
think where.
7:15 plus 15 would be 7:30. So that's 7:33, 7:34 p.m. Be back at 7:34 p.m. you guys. All right, so Barbara, share your screen and I'll help you download the class files. Everyone else, break time.
Okay, close out and I'm sorry.
That's fine. Just let's go for it. You need to help you with that. Okay, so now.
I found some tucked
Okay,
in.
Okay, go ahead and go to Safari or to whatever you use to get to the class, to get to Firefox. Yeah, whichever one you use, one or the other.
I go there and
Okay, so now go to your dashboard right there. You have the dashboard. I see you have it right there.
where
I see you have a dashboard open up. Just click on that.
I don't know where it is. Oh,
See my pink circle?
right there.
Yeah, so go over here to Gmail. Oh, you already had it open. You had the email there open. Okay, and then now head over to this little icon. Way over there.
Here?
Nope.
Oh, over here. That's right.
That one, yeah, and then.
And
Right.
drive and then shared drive.
And then we go to shared drives, yeah,
Okay.
then digital design techniques. Double click. Okay. And now you're gonna right click and download this file. And then just because I put a file here that we've been working on, I'm not sure if we're using it or not, but go ahead and right click on this one that says catch up. And download it as well. I don't know that we're using it. But
It's not showing me.
yeah, it's downloading here. It's fine. Don't stay on page. You're still downloading. So down here, it's showing you. See how it's zipping the file?
Oh,
out?
now the arrow popped up there.
Mhm. Okay, so you're all ready to go. So now you can go
Oh,
down to bridge. Let's open bridge. Let's go ahead and minimize or move away from Safari.
did they both download?
Yeah. So go ahead and go, before you start that, can you get rid of this that's behind? So it's one less thing, the Safari. Can you minimize Safari? Yeah. Okay, so now over here, go to favorites. Yeah, and your essentials is kind of messed up. Can you go over here to essentials? Click on this and reset your essentials. Click on this little tiny icon. Yeah, say reset to save layout.
Reset to save layout. Okay.
All right, so go to downloads. Good, and then let's find, here it is, fall 25 digital design. Just drag it out here. It's okay, stay where it is. You can just, yeah, just drag it out. No, here.
Where do you want me to drag it to?
To the left side, to where it says,
Oh, okay.
there we go, let go. Now click on it. And there you go. Okay.
Now that's both downloads.
Yeah, these are the class files, so you're fine now. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, just in case, let's go back to downloads and add the catch-up files here for a second. Yeah, so let's go find ABC, scroll down a bit, or to see if we find a folder called catch-up.
Illustrator class files.
Called catch-up, so keep scrolling down. You're not taking my Illustrator class, are you, right now? Yes, you are.
I think so.
Okay, so then let's put the Illustrator class files too. I don't see a catch-up anywhere. Scroll up a bit. If this is the Illustrator class files, go ahead and drag them out here too. That way you have them. Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't matter. The catch-up files are not important if you don't see them. Let's scroll up.
Digital design techniques is not in there.
It's okay. I was just looking for the catch-up folder, but it doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. We're not going to use those again.
So I can go back into your files
Yeah,
again.
here, click on here to go to my files. Right there. When you take the Illustrator class, you'll go there.
Do I double click?
Take that. No, you're there. By clicking on that, you are now seeing these are them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Oh, yeah, I see it.
yeah, stop right there. And over here, I have them sorted by type. So go to sort by file name right over there and change to sort by type. Yeah. And that way we're good. Okay. So you're ready. Let's take our break.
Thank you.
I have a little
Oh,
bit.
was it missing files?
No. You're fine. Those are the class files. You don't worry.
Okay, because there's a folder in
I
there
know,
that
but
says
that's supposed to be there. That's supposed
okay.
to be there. Okay, we're good. Let's
Got
take
it.
a break. I need a break because I've been teaching since 1, so I need my break. So
I bet you
I'll
do.
see you in a little bit.
Thank you. Oh dear. I'm so thick. We're gonna do things tonight. I have got to get something to drink. Something to eat, but oh,
All right, is everyone back? Can you hear me? Yep, okay, good. Well, yes, good that you can hear me. Everyone back? I don't know. Give me a, either turn on your videos if you normally do that, or give me a yes if you're there. All right, so I think that you're the only one back, Odessa. Oh no, Howard is there too.
That's funny. I did see somebody say yes, or maybe that was
Yeah.
mine. Oh, there we go.
Howard and Odessa, it's two of you guys. I stayed back helping Barbara, but no one else has a good excuse for not being here. So come on back, you guys.
Well, I was happy to see that my remote screen was still on. I forgot to do something and keep it active while we were gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It needs to be updated to
Yeah.
stay active. You're right. I forgot. I think
I forgot about it too until I sat back down. I thought, oh,
Right. All right. So, hello. Are you guys back? I want to keep moving forward. Peggy, Paula, mainly Paula, because Peggy has been here, done that. She knows this. And oh, there you are, Peggy. And so does Moni. But Paula is new to this. So, Paula, Barbara. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So, today I was catching you up, Odessa and Barbara, because I want to make sure that you all have the files. But I want to keep moving forward. So in the future, when someone's late, you just need to go to the catch up, get your files from there, and join us when you're ready. Okay. So let me share my screen. And we're in InDesign. All right. Oh, you're there. Thanks, Eric. All right. So most of you guys are back. All right. So here we go. First of all, remember in the first file that we're working, it's okay if you don't have it, Odessa, just using this as a sample for something. Remember I was talking about these elements having their boxes, and I call them kind of placeholders. In reality, in InDesign, they're called frames, okay? So the autumn text that we had a frame of its own, and it's for some reason not drawing correctly. And I saw it the other day. It should be all the way around, but it's having an issue with the redraw. But there it is. There's a frame or a placeholder box, whichever one you call it. Here it is again. It's a little frame or placeholder box. And the other element that we had here, which was the photo, also has its own frame and placeholder. So what are these other lines? That's what we had mentioned last class, where the margins, the outside shape, the bleed, and the extra frame. So now we're going to talk individually about these things in our new document to understand each one of these things and what they are individually. So here we are. It's a new document. It has 8 pages, of which I've seen only 1. But if I head over here to the pages icon, then you can see that actually I do have 8 pages. They're laid out in this bizarre kind of way. Like, why are they laid out this way? Well, and I forgot to bring it with me. I'm sorry. I left it at the entrance of the class. Give me a second while I go grab it. Here we go. I came back, and I went and came back, and I still had left it there. Here we go. So here's a little example, and I'm going to stop my share for a second to explain how this works. So here's a little booklet, right? And it's got many pages, not just 8. But basically, this is the first page, and it's 1 page on its own. And then when you open it, it becomes first page and second page, right? This could be considered page 1, page 2, page 3, but these are facing pages. So you know how we made a document that had facing pages? then these are them. Hold on, I'm looking for the camera. These are them. These are the facing pages. So this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, 6, 7, 8, et cetera, et cetera. And then the last one is single again. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to share my document. I'm just going to just InDesign for now. And so here we go. That was page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, da, 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 and then the last page on its own. Does that make sense? That's a little booklet with however many pages it has. Now, if it's a book, it's a little bit different in that the cover pages and whatnot are sometimes designed separately. But even if you design it separately, then what you would have is a hardcover here. And then the first page would be blank. Go open any book and you'll notice that the hardcover, the first page is usually blank or it has some art or something. And then when you open, you start. So it's still an individual page under the cover. And then at the back end of any book, if you look at the back page, many times there's also a little blank page back there, the second side of it, and that's that second page. So that's how you lay out or how a book or a booklet would be laid out. So when we were talking about when do you use each program, which we did a lot of that conversation last class, definitely if you're going to do any kind of document that has multiple pages, this is the program to be in. It's InDesign is where you need to be, okay? Because this is how we work with the pages. Now, we're not going to work deeply with the pages right now. I want us to create a new document again. So File, New again, New Document. And now we're going to make also a print, but we're going to make inches. We're going to have this be maybe, I think that postcard that we made was 6 by 5. I don't know. It's a small poster size. Trying to remember.
11 by 17.
11 by 17. I was going to say it's not 11 by 14. Thank you. So it's 11 by 17. So 11 by 17. And because it's going to have only one page, we don't need it to have facing pages. But since it's only one page, we don't need to bother turning it off. So let's invent that for some reason for this poster size, we need to have 4 pages. So we're going to go with 4 pages, but they are not a booklet. They are 4 different posters that we're designing for an event. So we turn off the facing pages. Remember I told you that this was a pretty big deal if this was on or off. There's another one here that I haven't turned on. We're going to leave that off for now. But this time to this one, we're going to add a bleed. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to add a bleed. And I don't know if you remember her last week from the postcard, last class, that we just put these arrow once up and it gave us a 1.125. But 125 is a good bleed. So now we have 11 by 17, 4 pages, not facing. So this is turned off. And we left it in portrait orientation. Okay. And then when I go down, I add a bleed, leaving the margin as is. By now it might need to change or not, but we're leaving it the same, and then we're going to say create. So now I'm going to.
But Diane, mine's it's got one column, but it's got column gutter point
Yeah,
one.
we're gonna ignore those. Nothing to that. We're gonna just ignore those.
Should I erase that gutter?
No. Leave whatever's there.
Okay.
When we don't have any text frames to need a column, so one column means no columns. Once you have 2 columns, then you would have 2 columns and a gutter in between, but 1 column means nothing. And right now we don't.
Okay, thank you.
No, good question, but yeah, no columns. Now I'm using my command minus or command plus to zoom in and out of this document. Didn't mean to make it so long, which is fine, but yeah, when we said 11 by 17. But you know what? I just wanted to show you this, that these pages are not doing the facing pages mode. These are 4 pages and each one is its own thing. Okay? As opposed to, and now I go to this one, and this is laid out in spreads. Okay? Facing pages or spreads. We call this a spread. Versus this one, it's single pages. Each one is this individual little shape. Now,
I don't-
just to make this document easier for us to handle and to go back and forth, I kind of regret having made it 11 by 17. Let's go ahead and change it, and that'll give us a chance to look at that edit thing that we did before. I'm going to go to File, Document Setup. I
File.
want to change the entire document setup. File, Document Setup. And we're going to go over here, and instead of 11 by 17, let's make it be 5 by 7. And instead of landscape portrait, let's make it landscape orientation. So it's really 7 by 5. We're leaving it at 4 individual ones, and we're still not turning on the face and pages. So that's the only thing we're changing is the inches. We're
Okay,
leaving height to
7.
7 by 5. And then we're going to say, okay. So now it's just a bit easier to navigate now for
5.
another reason. Whatever suits you, this is good enough. I'm going to mute you, Barbara. Please unmute yourself when you want to talk, but I'm a bit more immune to that because I hear this all the time, but I notice that it does bug people to have noises in the background, and then if they don't tell me, it becomes an issue. So just try to remind me, or people just tell me in the chat to remind me to mute people, because I'm not always looking at the chat. You can also speak up. Everyone understands, to remind me that we want less noise. Okay, so Moni?
So if you had all 4 pages highlighted, could you make the change in properties for the document information, or?
Yeah, so over here where it says 7 by 5, right?
Yeah.
Facing 4 pages. If I were to change this to one of them, see how I'm changing them to all? I don't need to even have the documents highlighted, because I don't have anything set up at all. Like I don't have any particular thing selected or changed. So if I have nothing selected in it, meaning, so you can't really select 4 pages like that. If you
Okay.
were to click over here and select A to C, maybe that would work. But if you were to select even 1 page and you make some changes to that one, it still is to the whole document. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to 7 by 5, but yeah, great question there. So I hit the return, and it is going to work on all 4 pages. Okay. So there's also an adjust layout here, but that's a bit different. That's a different tool. That's when you already have a design that was 11 by 17, and you suddenly need to adjust it to 11 by 14, and everything has to scrunch or whatever. So then there's some tools here to adjust your layout for that, as opposed to this, which was just, there's nothing there yet, so who cares, right? If I make it bigger or wider or smaller, it's not affecting any of my elements, so it doesn't matter right now. Okay, I'm going to clear your answers, and I'm going to do a quick little screenshot of this layout here of pages. And it's okay if you guys don't do this one. I'm just going to post it really quickly so that it's a reminder here of how pages lay out to see, because it's the part that's new or different. Facing pages gives us the book or booklet layout with 1 single page at the top and another at the bottom, with all the spreads in between. Okay. So there we go. All right, and I'm not going to bother doing the other one because the other one's kind of what we expected, which was just single pages. All right, so now let's head back to, let's actually save these files. Let's go ahead and say Command S or Control S for this one that has the 8 pages. And then let's just call this one 8-page document. And then on this one, we're going to say, call this one, we're just actually going to, it's more about the bleeds I'm going to teach you. So it doesn't really matter what we call it. We'll call this one. Well, let's just call 4 single pages, which isn't the point of this document, but that would be a good name for it. So 4 single pages. Because we're going to practice some stuff in here. All right, so we're in 4 single pages. Doesn't matter if it's the 8-page document or the single page document. If we want to change from page to page, we don't design at this distance, right? We design up close. So if I go Command plus plus plus, now I'm in page 1, right? I can see I'm in page 1 because over here it says page 1. If I want to go to page 4 down here, I have to double click on page 4. I am in now page 4, but there's no difference. There's nothing in it. How do we know? Well, A, because over here I have a selected 4. Also down here at the bottom, now it also shows me the number 4. So those are the 2 main indicators that I have, that I'm, in a 4th page document. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and click on our page 1, and we're going to place that little star or whatever that shape was that we created. So Command or Control D or File Place. We're going to go again to that first Illustrator designed splotch kind of thing, star that we made. It's an Illustrator design. We're going to place it in here, click and drag. And then we're going to go to page 4. We're going to double click. And we're going to say Command or Control File Place. And now we're going to find that Autumn Fields. I've got the top one I have is the one that is the PSD with or without a car. And I'm going to open that one. And I'm going to click and drag and I'm going to just put it in there. So I'm going to do this that I just did again with everyone to catch you up. Some of you haven't done this yet. So basically, I'm going to be in page 1. Double click on page 1. And we're going to do File Place. And we're going to bring in that star. So for those, oh, you might not have it, Barbara or Odessa. Let's get you to bring in, I don't know, the red barn. It doesn't matter what you bring. Bring something that's there. Okay. So find a file that's a JPEG and open. And then over here, instead of just clicking, which gives us a huge barn, you're just going to click and drag and get a little small barn in there. So this is for Barbara and Odessa who don't have the files that we made yesterday, which we were working with at the beginning of this class. And then we're going to double click on the 4th page.
Okay, I have them, but they're on my computer and I can't reach
Yeah,
this
you
at
can't
all,
from
right?
VDI.
Okay, just
You can't
making
from
sure.
VDI. You can't. So don't worry. From VDI, you can't reach it. So just bring in, it doesn't matter what we're bringing. I'm just trying to have us show something on one page or another page. That's why I don't care what you bring. And then File Place. And then on this one, I'll bring in that same Getty Fields. And again, the important thing I want you to learn is that if you just click, the whole shebang pops in, you see, which is humongous. And we don't want to do that. So Command or Control Z, you need to click and drag to be more controlled and bring in a smaller space. So we have something in page 1, something in page 4. And I just wanted to mainly have something in each page for you guys to be able to really see that we truly are changing pages when you go and do that. Because before, with this being blank, it's hard to even tell if you're changing a page. The only thing is down here at the bottom right, where you would go down here, you see the number 4. Now you see something else on it. Okay, so that's just kind of so that we can see what's happening. Let's all head back to page 2, which should be empty for everyone. When you're in page 2 and you've been able to place 2 other files and you're in page 2, give me a yes. All right. In page 2, I want to be able to practice a couple of things before we put in a bleed. Now, I don't remember from the layout that we made last class, we put in a bleed. So we haven't talked about bleeds today yet. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about how to work things with the box and the pages, and then we're going to be able to talk about bleeds. So for now, we have a document that is showing me the ends of where that will be. That is truly the 5x7. And this is a margin, and usually a margin is like a place to keep empty, right? For our text shouldn't go past that, right? So if I hit the W, not much is changing this time. Hit the W key, go to your keyboard and hit the W. The only thing that's happening is that the margin is disappearing, right? Because it's a line that indicates something, but this with the W is what we're seeing in the document, which is basically a blank page, a 5x7 blank page. And when we click again, the only other difference is this background changes color, which is unimportant, but nothing else is changing. All right. Now, remember that I told you that an InDesign, well, Illustrator too, by the way, for those of you who know Illustrator, but we don't call it a frame in Illustrator, we call it a bounding box, but in InDesign, we call it a frame. Everything that you bring in to InDesign has to have a frame. The parts and pieces are held by something. And so down here, kind of midway down our tools, we see a box with an X. That box with an X is our frame making tool. Let's go ahead and select that frame making tool, kind of below a pencil. And because it's the frame making tool, if you were just click the F key on your keyboard, you would get the F for fun, whatever, for frame. And now I'm just gonna click and drag, and I've made a frame of whatever shape or form. Again, I don't know why my computer insists on not drawing the entire frame. Depends on where it lands. I have it and all, but it is 4 sides. Something is up with how it's being redrawn. That sometimes it's missing 2 sides, but this is just a redrawing issue that I'm having now. It's missing 3 sides, depending on where I drop it off. But guys, it
You
should
can
be
see
there.
all 4.
You can see all 4? Oh, so
Yeah.
every time I'm saying that I don't see the rest, you guys are seeing it. Oh, that's so interesting. They're all disappearing for me down to just 1. Okay, the X's are still there. So this is a frame. Okay, now a frame in and of itself holds nothing. If I click away and I hit the W, I see nothing. If I hit the W again, I still see the frame. The frame is a holder of stuff, and there's nothing in it right now. Okay? And the main way you can tell is because if you hit the W, it disappears. This is what we'd be seeing if we were to print this document. There's nothing there. But when you hit the W again, we see this placeholder, this holder of things. And what it holds, it can hold what we did already, something from Illustrator, something from Photoshop. It can hold a video. If you bring in a video, it can hold, depending on what you're doing, it holds whatever you put in it, and it holds text, right? Usually for text, we make a specific text placeholder, but ultimately we could put text in there as well. So what we're going to put in there and how it's going to fit into this does matter. Now, watch. Let's move this box kind of somewhere up into the middle, the one that we made that has nothing, okay? Let's put it somewhere over there. And now let's click away from it. So it's just sitting there with, it is not selected. See the difference? This is selected. It has all these little handles. Let's click away so there's nothing selected. And now let's do a file place again. Again, Command or Control D or File Place. And let's bring in again one of these files that we bring in. I guess the autumn fields. And let's say open. And now let's just hang in there for a minute. Don't drop it. So this is a document. This is called content. This is a photo, right? It's a information that our brochure, book, or whatever is going to have, and in InDesign, it has to be held by a frame. Now, if I have a pre-existing frame in there already, I could just drop it in there. Don't yet, but look what happens with my hand. Look what just happens if I hover over this pre-existing frame. Do you see how inside, right next to where my arrow is, something changed? Before I had a box with little dots around it, and now I have like 2 parentheses around my box. You see that? It's because I'm hovering over a frame that could hold something. I don't want that box to hold this photo though. But if I were to click in there, it's going to go in there. So let me show you. I'm going to click and it went in there. But all we're seeing is a little bit of that photo. I'm going to Command Z to get it out of there. That's equivalent to having done this. Click. And I have just dropped the entire photo outside. I'm going to Command Z. That's what I did when I did this. It's the same thing. I dropped the entire photo, only I'm seeing only the center of it in this tiny frame. So it doesn't fit. So once again, I'm going to Command Z. So try that. If you click it over here, you're dropping the entire photo, right? Let me just Command under, and it's so big that it doesn't even fit. Let me just collapse my pages right now because I don't really need to be looking at my pages. It's over there and it doesn't fit. But when I click in this box and drop it in it, it's equivalent to that. I am basically seeing only a teensy bit of it, only it's being shown. The rest is being masked out. The only piece I'm seeing is what's inside of the frame. Let's Command Z again to get out of that. If that worked for everyone, give me a yes. The whole like dropping inside the frame or outside of the frame. Okay. And then Command Z or Control Z to get out or in. And you just basically have it back in your hands. Is that good? Okay. Howard, did that work? All right.
Yes.
So now I didn't want to drop the whole thing. Now I'm going to do what we did before. I'm just going to actually click and drag. So I'm just dropping this photo. And this time it is dropping in at the size that I click and drag, whatever that might be. I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to click and drag and make it really tiny. I'm going to Command Z. I'm going to click and drag and drop it pretty big. Command Z. And finally, I'm going to make it about yay size, same as the other box. But you can Command Z and keep dropping it at whatever size you want. It fills the frame, okay? Until I make a frame that's a bit bigger or a bit smaller. And now I'm just going to drop it at this size, whatever. So now I'm going to say, okay, what's happened here? What did I drop? Well, when I dropped that photo inside the frame, all I dropped was the content. The content went into an existing frame, but it didn't take on the size of that frame. It just took on like as if I had dropped it completely. But when I click and drag, the content takes on the size of the frame because ultimately when I'm clicking and dragging, what I'm doing is I am creating a frame. That's all I'm doing. It's just that I had content hanging in, so it dropped itself in there. Just like when I created this frame here, I clicked and dragged to create that frame. See that? When I placed that file, I also just clicked and dragged and created a frame. But since I was dragging along some content, that content went and fit itself in there at the right size. Does that make sense, you guys? But this frame that's holding this image is exactly the same as this frame. If you look at all the markings and settings, it's a frame that's a multi-content type of frame that could carry anything under the world, and it happens to be carrying this photo. So now let's go ahead and select this guy, the one that's empty right now. It has this content frame waiting to be filled. Last time I had you deselect the frame, so when we filed placed, we had that in our fingertips. This time we're going to be selecting that frame. It's pre-made, it's already there. I don't care what's, in fact, let's make it be a weird, let's make it be like long, kind of long and skinny. So it's clearly not the same format as this photo needs, okay? It's a long and thin. You guys are seeing the whole frame? I'm still seeing only 3 pages, 3 sides of it.
Yeah, I've
So
seen
it's
the whole
this,
thing.
it's this long and skinny. I'll make it even a bit longer. Okay, y'all have this one and it's selected. Now, this is how a template would work. The pre-frame, the frame is there and all it needs is in that size, it needs the photo. So when I'm selecting it, if I now do Command Control D or File Place, and I select the exact same image, and I say open, it fit itself in there to the best of its ability, just like when we clicked on it. It just is showing us probably this little center piece of it. That's all it's showing us. It's in huge mode versus to the right size, which is what we did down here. If you're following and everything is still working, then let me know, give me a yes. If I lost you or something like that, just let me know. But if you're all following, then give me a yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to clear your answers, ready for my next question. All right, so, yes, Eric?
How do you cancel, say if you selected the wrong image, how do you get out of that little
Well,
cursor?
you could Command Z to get out of that, but if you've gone and clicked around a bunch and changed, then at this point, just don't worry, leave it
Mhm.
selected. Remember what we did before? To replace it, you just go file, place a different one, the correct one this time, but in my case, I'm going to grab the incorrect one, open again, and the new one will replace the old one. Okay? So as
Okay.
long as it's selected, whatever you bring in now will drop in to that selected place. Okay?
Okay.
So you could delete it, but why bother when ultimately whatever else you bring in will replace what's there. They don't stack themselves. Okay? Only one thing can be in each frame. Glad you asked that. Whoops. Okay. So now, first of all, how do so if you have these two, I'm going to show you two things, for better or for worse. If I now want to make this bigger, let's go to the one that seems correctly filled, okay? Like the whole photo is in there. And if you weren't aware that this is the photo, yes, this is correct. Some of you didn't see the photo before. This is it. This is the photo. So now what if I want to make it a little bit bigger? Watch. I'm going to grab this here to make it a little bit bigger there. And it's like, oh, well, that didn't work. How about over here? Oh, that didn't work either. The frame and the content are two separate creatures. And what I'm making bigger is the frame, but that's not affecting the content. I'm going to undo. And then maybe if I pulled it this way, nope, that's just the frame getting bigger. Well, how about if I want to make it smaller? I'm going to make this smaller and nope, all I'm doing is I'm cutting off the image, but I'm not making the image, the content, any smaller. It's just my frame is getting smaller and thus I see less. Command Z. Does that make sense, you guys? You are making the frame smaller or bigger. The content is immutable. The content is not changing. That's why if I come to this one, if I try to make it bigger though, I do see more image because I am basically have a human image in there and I am seeing more, but it's only because there was more to see, not because the image, the content is changing in any way, shape, or form. If that makes sense and you got it, like, oh yeah, I got it, give me a yes. If there's any questions around that, then let me know. But basically the frame and the content, two separate creatures. Okay, got it. Everyone said a yes, and then clear your feedback. All right. So then how do we make the whole photo fit in here, or this one bigger or smaller? Well, we have a couple different tools that'll help us. The first one is a shortcut. The shortcut's going to work well for anyone who is not in VDI. This does not work too well for VDI people, depending if you're on a Mac or on a PC. It works better for PC people on a PC. It doesn't work so well for Mac people on VDI. But let me show you what it is. If I now click on these, see how now the photo and the frame got bigger? Okay, I'm going to undo that. So you need to be holding down on a Mac, on the Command and on the Option key. So hold down the Command and Option key, and then when you pull open, it gets bigger. Now the problem, watch, wait for a second. If I pull open in this direction, I'm distorting the image. Can you tell that I made it? So you really should be holding the Command Option and Shift key, because the Shift key constrains. Then when I pull, the whole thing becomes bigger or smaller proportionally. Command, Option, and Shift. This is for Mac people. For PC people,
It's duplicating for me, Diana.
no, then you're not holding the command. Duplicating is the Alt only. So do an undo and hold Command, Option, and Shift all at the same time.
Ah, shift also.
The shift is for keeping it constrained so that we don't, if this is without a shift and I'm stretching it and it's weird. In this image, you can't tell so much that it's weird because it's, you know, but yeah, that would be a big stretch, right? Like I'm making this weird thing out of it. So the shift is to keep it proportional, but it's the command and the option that matter in order to get it to get bigger or smaller. So
It's
that's for the Mac.
It's duplicating the image for me.
Okay, hold on for a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you share and we're gonna walk you through it. But let me first tell PC people what they need to do. For you guys, it's also Shift, but it's Control and Alt. It's Shift, Control, and Alt. Now, Shift, Control, and Alt, if you're a Mac person on VDI, it won't work. But if you're a PC person on VDI, it should work. You guys tell me how that goes, Eric and Odessa. But meanwhile, can you share your screen, Paula, so I can see?
Well, you're not going to believe it, but it's duplicating for me too.
All right. Well, let's see, Paula. Can you share your screen and let me see?
Yes, I'm sharing 1 sec.
So it's also sharing for Odessa. It's probably that it has to do with VDI, but Paula is not on VDI. That's why I'm having her share. Give me a second.
Can you see?
No, hold on. Yes, but you're not big enough yet. So give me a second. I'm trying to, frick, my computer was scratched. Okay, so go ahead and undo because you've stretched the image right now. So Command Z. Okay.
Okay.
Now, first hold down Shift, Option, and Command. Hold them down tight. Now go to a corner. Yeah, you're right. You're getting the duplicate symbol there.
You know what I had to do? I had to make sure I was on the double arrow corner.
Okay.
I just
undo.
drag the picture, it duplicates it.
Okay, Command Z, and you're not going to be on the picture. Yeah, go on the, thank you. Go to the, here, go to the handles. I forgot to say, you need to be pulling the frame, not the content. Yeah, there we go. Remember, frame and content are two things. Now, with the Shift Command option, now you're making it bigger or smaller. Okay. Yeah, you guys were grabbing the content and we're talking frame. We're making the frame
Yes.
bigger or smaller. Okay. Thank you. I was looking at it a bit puzzled, Odessa, and you said the right thing. So thanks. Yes, Eric.
It worked on mine. 'Cause I
Oh,
have a Mac and I'm on doing the VDI for PC. The only
okay.
thing I did, which I don't know what I pressed, but it grayed out all my images. So all my images are gray now.
Okay. Okay, share your screen. Grayed out in Illustrator would be some kind of internal isolation mode, but there's no isolation mode in PC. Okay, go ahead and say Command Z to undo that, and let me see that again. It's still doing that. That's what it does when it's redrawing and it doesn't have enough power. So grayed out like that is because it doesn't have enough power to handle what you are showing. It's saving, it's just showing like a little preview version before, and now I can't even show you the image. It's less than preview version. Go ahead and zoom down, command minus or control minus a few times to see if it's better, if it has less to show. Nope. Go ahead and say save and open it and close and open it up again to see if it redraws. Go ahead and save the file and close it and reopen it. Or actually go to the other one, go to the first layout in InDesign to see if that's also grayed out. This one didn't have any documents, but the first one did. So here it's okay. Go ahead and save and close because we might be pushing it to have more things open. Save and close the first layout. Close the 8-page document.
I'll close this one.
Yeah, for now. Let's just not have too many things open. And I noticed that you have Illustrator open too. Might want to close Illustrator. I'm just trying to lighten the load on the VDI. And now Yeah, and then close the single page, close the single page and the 8 page, and then reopen the single page. But save it first. If you haven't saved it yet, when you close it, it'll ask you. If you haven't, it'll ask you. When you go close it, it'll say save.
Okay.
Okay, and now go ahead and open it again. And by the way, you have it down here. Yeah,
Oh,
you have it there under recent, or you have it down there as well. Single page, the first one is your single page document.
oops,
Nope,
sorry.
it's okay. Now it's your
This one.
second one. Now it's your second one because that's the recent. So since
Oh,
you put that one in second,
sorry.
yeah, it's ordered in recent version. So now it's your second one.
It's this one, right?
Yeah. There you go. It's just a redrawing thing where it just was needing more power to show. All right.
Oh, okay.
Other than
Thank
that,
you.
it worked though, so that's good. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Let me stop your share and let me reshare. So everyone's good now? Okay. So let me reshare. Okay. So, okay, so since we did that from the edges, right, from the frame handles, what's happening is that by moving the frame bigger or smaller, the content is trying to fit into the frame, right? So we're doing a little fit. So no matter what we do, it's fitting into the frame. We're going to talk a little bit later how this reacts to things like resolution and all that. But for now, I'm just trying to get the mechanics of this done, because you can't willy-nilly do this for an image and print it as big as you want if the resolution isn't there. But for now, that's all I want, to make sure that you can all resize an image correctly, and most importantly, not deforming it, right? By holding the shift key. Okay, so now let's move this over a little bit. So how about this one? This one here does not have the format of my image. It just doesn't, no matter what. It doesn't. The frame isn't right. But I still want my photo to fit into this frame. So if I select this first and I go all the way down here, there's a thing called frame fitting. And there's quite a few different options here for frame fitting. One of them is auto fit, which I don't particularly like too much, because let me just show you what happens with that. Well, in this case, nothing. I guess because the frame is, yeah, it's so big. Let me turn off the auto fit for now, so you can know how to use the rest without that, because I want you to really learn what these things are, and then we can see the auto fit comes after when you have a frame that makes sense. Okay, so the first choice is fit frame proportionally. Fit to frame proportionally. So when I click on that one, now my image is fitting to the best of its ability proportionally. So the photo isn't stretched, but I can't see all of it. It's only showing me a middle sliver of the photo. Does that make sense? But it hasn't distorted the photo. It's just not showing all of my photo. Let me undo that. Command Z. The next one is fit the content proportionally. So the entire content is fitting proportionally, which means that in order to show all of it, it can only be this small. Does that make sense? So I'm going to undo that and show you again the difference. This one, it was able to fit itself side to side. If you look at the image, it's got all the sides, but it left stuff out. So the content is less important. This is like the frame is more important than the photo. It has to fit the frame. So then you go, okay, I'll lose some photo. I'm going to undo that. Versus the second one is, well, the photo is more important than the frame. I'll fit the photo and then I'll have to reformat the frame. Does that make sense? Y'all good with that? With those two choices? Now I'm going to undo. Command Z.
Yes.
The next one is fit content to frame. And so now it's like, I don't care what size this frame is and what this content is, you guys gotta match. So the computer's like, okay, and it stretched my photo out. It's like, that's the frame you need, and this is my photo, and we got a match. She said we got a match. So boom, I have this very stretched out image. Got it? We probably never want to do this unless it's some very abstract, you know, you have 4 mountains and you need to fill that space, and who cares if the mountain's a bit more stretched than a little bit taller or whatever. But rarely would you use that one because it really messed the stuff up. Or this one, which is going to be a bit weird here, fit the frame to the content, which then the frame has to become huge because my content was so big. You see that? That's how big my port, so it just blew it all out. The frame expanded to fit my content. So once again, let's Command Z. All right, now many times the fit frame to content works if the content is the right size, but that was not the right size, so it went crazy. Okay, this one is center the content, which right now makes no difference. It's already centered, so who cares? And then this one is content to where fit. We're gonna leave that one for now. It's doing its best fit, but since we don't really have the right frame, really this works when you have a better frame. I forcefully made us have a really bad frame. Let's Command Z to undo that. Let's go back to the very beginning. Are we all good with that? The 5 choices? Okay. The one that, depending on what matters most, what mattered most, the content or the frame? If the photo matters more, then we're going to do this one, because who cares? We can just then grab the frame and match it to fit the content, or watch, we can use a second one of these, which is match the frame to the content. So in 2 sets, I clicked on this one, made the content fit, and then I clicked on this one and made the frame match the content. So in 2 steps, I managed to make it kind of work, right? Command Z, Command Z. But if what mattered more was that the photo fit onto the sides, then this one matters more. And then I fit the frame to the content, but this time it just made itself bigger. Does that make sense? Command Z, Command Z. So depends on what matters more. 1, and then the 3rd one, or the 2nd one. The photo gets really tiny, and then the 4th one. The only one I don't know why it's 3rd, and they should have it at the very end, which is always, almost always the wrong choice, is this one where you ruin the photo. So we should avoid that one at all costs. And the problem is that sometimes you're not aware because the frame is just a little bit off and you don't understand, and you do that, and next thing you know, you stretch it. Now, truly, has that made such a huge difference in that photo? Not really. So if you're in desperate needs, you can do that as long as it truly doesn't make in the photo, but you're basically distorting a photo. So you have to be careful with doing that too much or everything will start looking weird. If I have to make this frame go a little bit bigger and then I need it, I click on the 3rd one, then again, does anyone care? Did it affect the photo too much? No, not much. So that works. Does that make sense? So you're going to use that when you forcefully in your template, you need a photo that's this size and you don't have a photo that's this size. Well, let's test. Can this photo fit? Yeah, you can get away with it. So then you do that, right? Ideally, you use the photo true to the photo. But if you can't, and the photo can take being a little bit taller, a little bit stretched, then you can use that one. Other than that, you can't use that one. All right, this one's a hard one to screen shoot because, you know, we're just learning, but most of it is, you know, but I wouldn't mind having us do a little screenshot here where you include these frame fitting tools right there, just so that you can remember where we came from and why we used these. Okay. Now, if I click on this auto fit right there, I turn it on, and without any shortcuts, I now make from the frame, okay, I pull it open or close from the corners. If I pull it from the side, I have to hold the shift key. Okay, But remember what I had you guys do, Shift, Option, Command, whatever. That's the equivalent to Shift, Option, Command. It's the auto fit. So if I click on auto fit on this one and I pull the corner and pull it wrong, I'm still distorting it. And so the frame gets, not distorting it, I'm making them not fit to each other. So I'm having a bad frame. So you still have to hold down the Shift key because the Shift key keeps everything in proportion. So now if I make this bigger, it went bigger. If I make it smaller, it went smaller. If I make it taller from the top, it still made everything go because I'm holding the Shift key. And then I do that and it still works, okay? So that's the equivalent of the shortcut that I taught you. Now you might not always see that little guy, might not always need it. And so the shortcut was Command Option. Shift is still there. We still need the Shift, but Command Option Shift or turn on the auto fit. Okay.
How do we add the frame again, Diana?
We either placed an image on its own and it created its own frame, or
Yeah.
we first created a frame.
Ah,
put in
it's
the
on the
photo.
tool. Okay.
It's,
No, I
that's
was
the
trying to
frame.
remember how we did it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the frame tool. Now, while we're at it, since we're at it, let's move these over a little bit. Let me show you another frame that you could bring in. Let's click on and hold on the frame. And you could have, for example, an ellipse frame tool. So let me click and drag and make an elliptical frame in there. And now let's go save file, Command Control D, and place the exact same image one more time. And it pops in to that oval. I'm going to go ahead and say fit content proportional.
Your audio cut out again. Your audio cut out. I don't know if that's just me.
Thank you. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Thanks. Okay. It's just that I have a hard time hearing you, Howard. So I heard you say something and then I didn't hear you the first time and then I heard you again and then I got, oh, he said something about audio. That must be me. Did everyone create an elliptical shaped frame and bring in content to that one? Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and save. We've done quite a bit of things here, so let's go ahead and save that. It's already saved, so it won't make a save as or anything. By the way, when we go over to our links, this is an example of we have one photo that I brought in 4 times, right? So if I were to go into Photoshop now, and I'm just going to do this for fun's sake, and I'm not going to show you yet how to do this, but I've were to suddenly turn this whole thing into a field of blue things, and I were to say save, if I go to InDesign and I double click, they're all going to go blue, okay? Because it is the same photo, no matter that I brought it in 4 different instances. I think I have it up somewhere over there again. So it's 4 times here, but it still went blue everywhere because it's the same photo. I'm just going to go back and undo that, but I just wanted to show you that really quickly. That kind of reinforcing the fact
Where
that
did you click, Diana? I'm sorry.
I just went into Photoshop and made everything blue. I didn't teach this group how to do that. If you remember how to do that with hue saturation, you can, but I just wanted to show you again that it's the same image. That if I change it one time to 1 in Photoshop, all of them change because it is one image, even though I brought it in 4 times. That's all I wanted to show you with that, okay? So now I went and made it yellow again, and that's okay. That was just a quick little. But what I do want to show you in the links here is that now it's telling me where they are placed. And it turns out that the red barn is in page 1. So I'm going to click on red barn. And then this one here is in page 4. I'm gonna click on page 4. There I am in page 4. And that the other 3 are in page 2. See how when you click on these, it takes you then to the right page? So if you're working on a 58-page document over here, you would see 58. You would click on that and boom, it would jump you to the page 58. Yeah? All right. Now, the most important thing about this whole concept, let's go ahead and grab this one, the one that seems the most regular one, copy it, and let's go down to the 3rd page that was still empty. Oh, that's my 15 minutes left in the class. Okay, and let's paste it here. All right, once you all have this image, or you can just file place it again, it doesn't matter, you know, right? I copied it, but you can file paste. So now we're in page 4, and if I look at my pages, you should see that I have something on every page, so I'm in page 3, okay? Now I'm zooming out a little bit so that you can see what's happening, right? But we had created this document to have a bleed, and we have this document. It's just that when I get bigger, my bleed disappears. There's a spot, for me, the bleed disappears at that edge, so I'm gonna have it at this edge. So here I have this file, which might or not be proportional to 5 by 7. It probably isn't. I don't know when I created it. But if that's the size I need to print, I need it to print. Now, so did everyone put this somewhere in the middle-ish? Right? Now, when you hit W, if I were to print this page, that's what I'd be seeing. See how all those things go away? All I see is the image, bunch of empty space. That is what we call the trim. The trim size, because this is exactly 5 by 7, or in this case, sorry, 7 by 5. That's my trim, okay? A trim size. But when I hit the W again, I'm seeing the margins and I'm seeing the bleed. The bleed is outside of the trim size. It's extra. And the margin is internal. So the difference between trim size and bleed size, if this is the postcard, for example, or a greeting card that's going to be 5 by 7, and I'm going to print it that way, between the photo and the edges, there's nothing. So this document doesn't need to have a bleed. I can send it to print this way, and there's going to be indications here. And I'm talking, when I send it to print, imagine you're sending to a printer company, not to a printer at your desktop, okay? But to a company that's going to print this and make, 5,000 or whatever of this. The document is going to have a couple of lines here indicating where to cut the paper here and there, because they're not going to use a little 5 by 7 piece of paper in their printer. They're going to use rolls of paper, and they're going to have to cut this out. They're going to go chunk, 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 and chunk, and they're going to cut at the place where the trim size is indicated. All good with that? Yeah? People, Howard, Peggy, everyone else, y'all good with that? Okay. So now let's hit the W. What happens when I want this to be printed, and let me stop my share, like this document, which happens to be me, but it's the only document that I found here to demo, so it's not that it's about being me, where there is no white paper on the edges, where this photo has to go to the very edge, right? Not only this photo, but this color has to go to the edge. These colors have to go to the edge. This, I could have designed this exact thing, same in InDesign, with these boxes and Imperial Steel Institutes. It has to print to the edge. If I were to send this document with this images right to the edge, what's going to happen is there's going to be a little mark here, a little mark there, telling the printer to cut there, to cut here. And I don't know if you've ever tried to cut with a pair of scissors or something, but what's the chance that the cut's going to be exactly on the right line? It's going to be a little bit over, a little bit under, right? So the big piece of white paper has this image printed on it. And then when you try to cut it right on the line, you're probably going to either eat into the image of it or you're going to leave a white line of white paper on the edge. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense what I'm saying? And if so, give me a yes. You know what I mean about that? If this is printed on white paper, because it's going to be on a big roll, it's not going to be paper this size that they put through the printer, then the cut won't be very precise. So the reason we leave a bleed in the document is because every element of this document, we're going to make a little bit bigger. That photo is not going to get to the edge, to the trim size. It's going to have to get as big as the bleed size. Then when the machine comes and goes and cuts, it's harder to get it to cut wrong. There's always going to be a little bit more photo in or out. Does that make sense? Because if the machine cuts wrong here and cuts a little bit in, but still gives me a 5x7, that means it's going to cut a little bit out right here and end up having a little bit more hair, right? And a little bit less space before this logo. Does that make sense, you guys? That's what the bleed margin is for. It's not even called a bleed margin. It's called a bleed.
The the bleed is what is in between the white and
the red.
red line.
The red line is our bleed line. Yeah. So
So what would be cut is everything that is outside of the white part.
not everything. This is 1/8 of an inch. And maybe the bad cut, maybe the side of my arrow, if everything cuts correctly, it would be cut to here, which is perfect. But if they make a mistake and cut a little bit off, they might cut there, or they might cut there, or they might cut there. The worst margin of error would be as far as 1/8 out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That in the industry, it's rare that they get it further than that. So that's why we give 1/8 of an inch of space. But they usually don't give you something smaller than 5x7. They'll give you something that's 5x7. But if they cut it here in the middle, right? Then what that means is that over here, it's going to be cut inside. Because the whole thing will still measure 5x7. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Let me get a box. Let me just for a second make a 5x7 box. Hold on. Don't try to do this. I'm just gonna make a 7, sorry, by 5 box. And I'm gonna fill it with something. Please don't ask me how or why right now. I'm just trying to make a point. If this is the 5x7 piece that I'm gonna receive, right? Ideally, they're gonna cut it correctly and I'm going to get this. But if they cut it incorrectly and they cut it right there, I'm going to have more of this side of the photo, but that means that they're going to have to give me less of this side of the photo because this is what's going to be printed. Maybe also they give me more top in this bottom. So that's going to be printed. So I'm going to get a 5x7 piece, but it'll have used up my bleed over there, and I'll be cut inside of there and inside of there. Got it? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, but here's
Imagine you're a very
a
bad,
question. Can you hear me?
yeah.
So if I have a 5x7, would I stretch the bleed beyond 5x7?
Yes, the bleed was beyond 5x7. So let me put this over to the side for a second just to be able to use. The 5x7 is the white area.
Yep.
This photo, let's now place it correctly. If this needs to be printed, what we want to print it with bleed, full bleed, then let me put the tip of this image in the corner, not in the corner of the trim, because if I put it in the corner of the trim, I'm in trouble, but I'm going to put it in the corner of the bleed. Oh, I know. Class is almost over. So I snapped it to my bleed, and now either because I'm pulling with auto fit or because I'm using the command option shift or control option shift, but all of us hold on to the shift key. Now pull from the corner and drag out. Okay. And when we drag out, if I drop it to there, I'm not feeling my bleed. So I'm going to keep dragging out until I touch this bleed. But the problem is that I don't have photo down here. So I need to keep dragging out, not until my photo touches this edge, but all the way to the end of the bleed. So now I have all my 4 bleeds covered. Does that make sense? I've got that bleed covered with photo, that bleed covered with photo, this bleed covered with photo, and a lot of photo left over here. If I now hit W, it's the ideal cut. It's going to be along this black line. So I hit W over here. I'm left photo left over there, left photo over there, left photo over there, and a lot of extra photo over here. Then I'm safe, because if the machine cuts wrong over here, I still left photo in the bleed and all 4 sides for it to not give me a white line of paper. Now, maybe I don't want it centered over there. Maybe I don't want to lose those lines, so I might need to move it. And we're going to talk a bit more about that, but don't touch the center. I haven't taught you about that center yet. You might want to move it over there so that it's a bit more centered. So if I lose something, I lose it from a bit from each side. This photo isn't proportional to 5x7, so I'm going to have to lose a bit more. Does that make sense? But we want to make sure, no matter where we center it, that there's enough photo to cover all 4 edges of the bleed. We're going to be talking about bleed so much more every time we work with this over the next set of classes, that don't worry if the concept is still a little bit off for you. But as long as you physically understood how to make the photo go to the edges of the bleed and beyond, when there's extra photo, that's up to the photo. And then you hit the W. You like the placement of the image, then you're good. Now, the problem with hitting the W is that had you placed this in the exact right spot inside of the bleed, when you hit the W, it looks good, because we did take photo all the way to the trim size. But when the machine comes and cuts a little bit off right there, that's going to be white paper, and it's going to look really wrong. Does that make sense? So you need to have it all the way to the bleed. And the best thing I can do is show you. Let me stop this share. Imagine, see this catalog? Imagine that it, let me see where the photo, here. Imagine if the cut hadn't been exact, right? Over there. Then it would be as if we'd have a little bit of extra white over there. Does that make sense? Paper would come in. Now it happens to have green underneath, but it would have been just about cut. And you've seen that sometimes in cheaply printed things. And I don't have an example, but at home. And after next Monday I'll be here again. But as of Wednesday, I'll be teaching from home. And I have a lot of samples of things that are a little bit off in their printing. Now, an example that is not the same, but it kind of is the same. Here I have the boxes that my my microphones come in. Have you ever taken apart a box? We're going to be doing that here in class. You take apart a box. This, and I know class is over in 2 minutes, so just look for this and then play around with these things. Here's a box that holds a microphone that I'm teaching with, right? And if you notice over here, on this side, you're seeing white edge and white box. But on this side, the fold is a little bit wrong, and you see how you see a little bit of green when there shouldn't have been? That's because the fold wasn't precise, or the design wasn't precise. Can you tell? Now, this is supposed to be green. This edge was supposed to be green. But in order for green to show up all the way to the edges, when they designed the box, they had to give it a little bit of bleed. Right there, they had to get the color to bleed out so that when you pop it in, you see only green. Does that make sense? So see how the green extends beyond the fold? That's so that when you do this, you see green and green. But here, there was a little bit wrong of a fold, or wrong of a bleed, or wrong of a design. Does that make sense? Because it should have been like this. So start opening things up and start looking at how they're designed, and you'll see sometimes the fold is exact, precise, and all is good. But sometimes the fold isn't exactly precise, and you'll see that there's, here, look on this side. There you go. See how a little white strip got left over? That's because that is the other side of where I showed you that there is a little bit of green leaving over. So the default is that it all moves over a little bit. Does that make sense? So hopefully this sample showed you a little bit what I mean. Now, would you ever have noticed you pick this up and you buy it, and do you even care that that moved over a teensy bit? Who cares? But imagine if this is a postcard for your gallery, for your show or whatever, and you have a postcard you're handing, and there's like one whole side has a white line and the other is, you know, in some things it matters more than less. I assure you that people who printed this are unhappy about that, but by now they printed 10,000 and they can't do anything about it. Most of us, who cares, right? Some errors are more egregious than others, but everything moves over a teensy bit up and down, and then at some point you might get a real big error, and sometimes not. And I have two boxes because I have two of these microphones. And if you look at each one of these boxes, the mistake is a little bit different. Like over here, I have the perfect edge on the front, and on this one, I have a little bleed on the front. Because each time the machine cut or folded, it cut or folded a little bit differently. Because that's life. Even in a machine, it isn't perfect. And so you have, the bleed is that margin of error. All right? I'm going to talk more about it. We'll learn more how to use it. Right now, all I want you guys is to save, to give me a screenshot of that bleed, and ideally of the work we did in this document. And after that, I will let you go. And for homework, again, I would love it if you could create a new file and place a photo, any photo, it can be one of mine, one of yours, but try it to be a different one than one we've been using, and create a file of any size you choose, like a one-page something, and put in a photo that's inside the bleed and one outside, like filling your bleed, kind of like what we just did. Like inside because you don't care because it's going to have white, or a full bleed frame for safety. Okay? And put it in the Padlet. So right now I'm going to put this in the Padlet, and then I'm going to let you go, and you can do whenever you want. You can put in the Padlet. I'm putting mine right now. So I said filling up my bleed with the photo, safe space to avoid incorrect cutting problems. All right. Cool. I posted it. Hopefully the rest of you put as well. Do some good work. And those of you who haven't read the handout, please read the handout. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay? Some of you guys I'll see in other classes. If I don't see you on Friday, I'll see you on Monday. Bye. Happy Design Day.